season, but that announcement will come soon. College basketball, 8 ranked teams in action, including a battle of ranked teams in the Big East, where number 21 UConn beat number 8 Villanova 71-69. 5th ranked Kansas cruises to a 102-83 win over Kansas State, and number 9 Texas Tech took down Oklahoma 66-42. Wins in the top 25 for number 17 Tennessee, 18th ranked Arkansas, number 24 Alabama, and number 25 Iowa. In the NHL, the Predators outscored the Panthers 6-4. Overtime for the Blue Jackets to beat the Maple Leafs 4-3, and the Senators surprised the Wild 4-3. I'm Eddie Garcia.
Wake up, Lincoln.
Come on, it's 6 o'clock. Rise and shine, rise and shine.
It's time for Early Break with Sip and Jake, brought to you by Gaina Trucking. Live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC studios in the heart of Lincoln, America. Here's 93.7 The Ticket's Jake Sorensen.
Did seem kind of meh.
And the Lincoln Journal-Star's Steve Sipple.
Surprisingly good.
This is Early Break with Sip and Jake, sponsored by Gaina Trucking.
Good morning. Happy Wednesday to you, Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen. Early Break, full show ahead in this Double Barrel Wednesday. Sean Callahan, Parker Gabriel, the mailbag, and more. It is also Tom Osborne's birthday today. We'll get to that here in a second. 85 years old for T.O. today.
Sweet.
Yeah.
85.
Do you feel 85 sometimes?
No.
Good. Good, bro. We're on the right path here
Yeah, I
then.
don't. That's
good.
30 years from now.
Glad to hear that.
God, I just hope I make it that long.
I hope you
30
do too.
years. Yeah.
Hope you do too.
Harrison's here.
Harrison's here. I'm
Good
here.
morning.
You're here.
Good morning to everybody.
Yes, hello to you all. You can text in where you're listening from at 402-464-5685 on the Sauter Heyman Jewelers video stream.
Feels better
And
outside
text
today.
Yeah, you said that when you walked in. I said it's still pretty damn cold out there. You know,
Yeah.
it's still
The wind's not
weather.
blowing.
You know what the actual weather is right now? Is it
The actual
is it-
temperature,
is
is that
it-
what you're
is
talking
it
about?
negative right now? Temperature? It's 0 degrees.
Yeah,
That's
there you go.
warmer to you. The feel like is actually negative 18. So I guess if that feels warmer to you than yesterday, then kudos to you.
The wind's
Good
not
on you.
blowing.
Yeah, the wind's not blowing, but it feels like negative 18 right now.
On these days, I hearken to that day when I forgot I didn't have my car keys. I couldn't
Yeah.
find them, and I had to ride a motorcycle. It was 13 that day, though. But oh God, that scarred me for life. That did.
You had gloves though, right? Didn't you?
Yeah, I had gloves.
I thought one time you came here unprepared with like no gloves or a jacket with that bike.
That
once.
could have been that might have been a
Yeah.
separate time.
Yeah, I think it was. But you severely underdressed for the weather. You thought it'd be warmer outside, and you came in like I needed
That's right.
gloves today.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
didn't have any. That's all right.
Like a child,
Yeah, well,
like a small child.
who's surprised though?
All right, let's talk about this.
People
Let's
are
talk about stuff.
people are already calling in. I'm sure they're upset about last night's basketball game. Nebraska once again lost to Northwestern. Sip on the road in Evanston, 77-65. Not really that competitive all the way through. They were down by 6 at halftime. They trailed
Yeah.
double digits in the first half for most of it. Then they got it down to 6 at half. Scored the first bucket of the second half to go down by 4. And then after that, it wasn't really close ever again. They lose by 12. Same story as the first game. Northwestern makes a bunch of threes, 13 to be exact, 13 for 32 on threes. Nebraska just 7 of 24. And now the Huskers have 3 consecutive 20-loss seasons
Now that's
under
the
Fred Hoiberg.
Now, that's the first time in program history. That's the first time in program history that Nebraska's had 3 straight 20-loss seasons. The best argument for keeping Fred right now is that the win-loss record doesn't matter, that it's about the future. That's
To that I say, I can't speak to you. Whoever says that, I can't even converse with them because we're on different planets. We are so far off on this, and nothing you can say if you're that person out there about the future will be anything that I agree with or listen to. Sorry. Well, I won't hear.
isn't that the best argument?
Yeah, and I'll just say, well, all right, well, the future is great everywhere. You know, don't fix anything because the future will always be fixed in some capacity with the current regime or whatever we're doing.
It wasn't the attendance listed as 3,487.
I bet that's probably being generous too.
Yeah, there wasn't. It was not a
Sound like
daunting atmosphere at all.
Sound like a just an open gym, basically.
It did.
Right?
Yeah.
You can hear the shoes squeaking out there.
Yeah.
Some chatter on the court.
Yeah. I will say, though, that Northwestern played well. I think they played well. They shot 50% from the field, made 13 3-pointers, 13 of 32. Northwestern, that's pretty good.
Yeah. They made 7 in the first half and 6 in the second.
Yeah. 13 of 32 from three's good. They had 20 assists and 12 turnovers. Nebraska had 16 assists, 15 turnovers. Nebraska actually out-rebounded Northwestern. Why are we talking about this game?
What happened, and people, I'll admit I didn't watch much. I wasn't exactly invested or care about it.
Nebraska, 7-20, 1-15. 1-15. I did watch it.
Why do you do this to yourself?
I have this strange, there's a pull to just witness history. I'm witnessing history.
You like to watch a car crash, don't you?
No. This is history, what we're watching.
It's painful. It's bad history.
I know, but
I
it's
watch
history.
good history.
But it's history. This is the first time the program's lost 20 games in 3 straight seasons. I mean, aren't you interested?
They've never had a 20-loss season ever before the Hoiberg era.
Right.
It's not just 3 straight. These are the only 3 ever in the history of the program to have 20 losses in a season. You witnessed the Danny Nee 11-19 season. That was not a 20-loss team. It was bad.
No, it wasn't that. It wasn't this bad.
But that was as bad as it had gotten. 19 losses, 3 straight. The only ever in the history of the program. It's happened 3 straight years. So again, to the people you say that who the only thing they can say is the future, I say, talk to the hand because the face ain't listening to that. All right, I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
To the hand.
Just talk to it. Knock on right there. I can't hear you. I can't hear you at all.
McGowan's played pretty well. Well.
No, he did.
No, he
No,
didn't.
he didn't. No, he didn't. See, even these blanket statements,
I got you.
True.
No, I appreciate
Bryce was 5 for 16 last night.
Yeah, he didn't play.
He did have a double-double, 15 points, 10 boards, but you got to look at how you get there with going 5 for 16, 1 of 6 on threes, and 4 of 6 on free throws. I mean, it's not, he's got to get probably freshman of the week again, but it wasn't exactly impressive what he did.
Freshman of the week.
He'll have his 8th straight, he'll have his 8th freshman of the week award because there's not that many good freshmen in the conference, apparently. And this is where we're at. Nebraska will now play. I mean, their next game coming up, they have 4 left in the schedule. Thank God. We're almost done with this. They'll play against Iowa on Friday night. Friends say, do you want to go to the game? I said, no. Why would you even ask me that question right now? I said, are you serious? Do you like watching this team lose in person? Did you watch the last Iowa game? Did you see what Iowa did last night? Oh, by the way, they murdered Michigan State.
Crunched them.
They were up by 30 points.
Crunched them.
In the second half, won by, I think, 25.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to see Nebraska play Iowa on Friday.
By the way, Michigan State in danger of not making the tournament. That would be the first time in, I believe, 23 years. Izzo's made 23 straight. Tom Izzo has made 23 straight NCAA tournaments. Sparty in danger of not making the tournament. How about that?
Well, all good things have to come to an end sometime.
Well, thank you for that cliche.
Welcome. It's cliche day, baby.
Hey, let's see what Dave has to say. We weren't planning on delving too far into basketball, but let's see what Dave has to say.
I just got really bothered by it. It was a good tweet by Chris Bassnett, but him saying that we've never seen any previous coach lose 20 games, and it's happened now all 3 years of the Hoiberg era. That just pisses me off to no extent. Dave, 464-5685. You're on early break. Go ahead, man.
Hey, morning, Jake and Steve. Did I hear it on BTN right that Fred was not expecting Banton to leave, that kind of threw him for a loop?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
That was said on the end of the broadcast.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Jeez.
Yeah, he did say it. He said that the point guard issue is because of Banton's late departure during the summer for the NBA.
That's unbelievable.
I felt that way too. Why do you say that?
Barely played last year, and now who's in the NBA averaging 3 points maybe, and sometimes not playing or 5 minutes a game. Look, he's going to have to bring Fred in the office and say, look, write on a sheet of paper, how much do you think you need for me to ask you to leave? And then slide the sheet of paper over to Trev. And if Trev agrees, then he goes. It's just like, look, he's not playing any freshmen, guys. He's playing C.J. Ritzler. He's not playing McPherson or any other guys. And then next year, you're going to be playing all freshmen, and you're going to expect to get any better. This is a disaster. I don't know how you keep him from now. That's unheard of. 3 straight 20 losing seasons. It hurts me because, guys, like I told you, I used to drive up from Kansas City years ago in the 80s and 90s and watch this team in basketball. This is horrible. Look, there's like about 5 Division I teams that have won like one game. There's a couple of Georgetown who have won 0. This is bad. And there's still people out there, Jake and Steve, who think that he deserves to come back. Those people are ignorant, dumb, and stupid. You know, I can't believe it. But thanks for taking my call, guys.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah,
Ignorant, dumb, and stupid per Dave if you support Hoiberg.
Well, Fred is, he's a gentleman. He handles this stuff very well. Riley was like Mike Riley was like that. People like him. Mike Riley was very popular with a lot of media. I would say Fred is pretty popular with a lot of media. The Banton comment.
Oh, God. Dave Rebson brought that up, right?
Right at the end of the game, Fred told the BTN crew that they're in a fix at point guard because Banton. Now it's true that Banton did decide in the summer, fairly late, to go to the NBA. Correct.
It's also true that Banton was benched last year from the point guard role on a horrible team.
True. But Fred would counter with, but Banton is in the NBA.
And I respond with, but Banton was benched on your pathetic team last year. What are we talking about here? You can't spin something, Fred, because he got drafted. That is a reason why you have no point guard here, or how I can accept that to be okay.
A lot of what,
because you benched that player last year as a starter.
A lot of what Fred says doesn't pass the sniff test is what I have concerns about sometimes. Like the whole Trey McGowan's is the heart and soul of our team, and once he returns, everything will be much better. What?
Really?
Yeah.
Trey's a fine player,
he's
but
all right.
The heart and soul of your team, and
he's the
fix everything.
He's the heart and soul of your. That's really. And we just kind of lap it up, like.
I don't think we bought that one. We said, I don't think so. We didn't lap that up. We said, all right, I suppose if you say so. I haven't really listened to what he's been saying recently. And again, I don't care if he's a nice guy.
He is a nice guy.
You see through things that are not telling the truth all the time, or they're just trying to get out of certain situations and spin it away. It's the spin zone.
Yeah.
We all know the spin zone.
The Banton explanation to the BTN crew really jumped out at me that way. Now, again, though, Fred, I know what Fred would say. He's in the NBA. How could that not help us?
I just said what I would say back to him. Fred, you benched him. He obviously wasn't good enough last year in that role. He's not playing point guard in the NBA all the time. He's playing, he's kind of a hybrid out there at this point. And as Dave said, again, he's a rookie, so it's understood, but he's not playing that much. He's been kind of back and forth between the NBA and the G League at this point as a bench player.
He did lead Nebraska in turnovers last year.
Oh, that's impressive. There you go. And that's probably why he got benched from the team.
He did lead Nebraska in assists, though. He led Nebraska in assists and turnovers last year. 105 assists to 67 turnovers. Banton shot 41% from the field. The problem with Delano was he shot 24% from 3-point range.
And there was often some horrifying shots from that range.
That really struck me. I probably struck a lot of people, including caller Dave, last night when Revson went into that spiel late. That Fred said,
yep,
we got caught at point guard because Banton left. I'd never heard that spin before. That's the first time I've heard that.
I like what Dave said. Bring Fred in the office. It's not how do you come back? Is it
Not
what,
Dave Revson. Dave.
No, yeah, sorry. Caller Dave. I like what Caller Dave said, saying, "Hey, what do we need to pay you to go away? That's not $18 million."
Well, I think Fred could respond. I want $18.5 million as per the contract that I signed, and as per the contract that you signed. We both signed the deal.
It's very possible that it happens.
Very
but
possible.
This just cannot go on any longer. It just can't.
I don't think coaches want to get in the habit of surrendering millions of dollars off the contract that they signed. I'd back Fred on that. I would.
And I get that. The contract's the contract.
Yeah.
But you're just hoping he'll do you a favor here and say, Fred, are you having a fun time? Do you really think you're doing a good job? Are you worthy of this money that we're about to give you to go away?
Well,
and
that's
also
when
to be
Fred
here?
would say, that's not for me to determine. That's for you to determine. And if you're going to depart ways, I
say-
want my 18.5
I would say,
million.
Fred, can I give you a stat? You are the first coach in the history of this program, which, by the way, has never won a tournament game, to ever have 3 straight 20-plus loss seasons. Do you feel like you're doing your job? This is not a proud tradition of success at this program.
There is some.
We all make it.
Be careful with that.
Nebraska gets made fun of for never having a tournament win. I mean, we're
I've seen-
asking for one tournament win.
I've seen a lot. Now that's where I bite back a little bit. I've seen a lot of good basketball in this program.
It does not have
a lot.
in general. The Nebraska basketball program, it has some tradition, but it is not a tradition-rich program.
No, it's not. I'll give you that. Yeah, it's not.
This has been always a tough team, a tough place to win for coaches. Danny Neve had success here, made quite a few tournaments.
But he's not the only coach who had success here.
Nebraska
Cipriano had a measure of success. Iba had a measure of success.
Nebraska has made one NCAA tournament since 1998.
Doc
It
had
is 2022.
Doc had some success. Miles had some success. Those guys had success. Collier had a little success.
What I just said, though, is true. Nebraska has made one tournament since 1998, and it was 2013-14, and they lost as a snuck in basically as 11 seed. I mean, they were not a for sure team. They were almost in the play-in game. Once again, this is a program that has historically been mediocre to bad. Historically, right? Over time, combined,
couldn't Fred?
it's mediocre to bad, and now it's historically bad.
Now, couldn't Fred's supporters say, Jake, you're basically making a case for him?
No, I'm saying
What do you expect?
no. I'd say supporters, it's been bad. It has never been what the hell you're putting out there is.
I understand.
If I stated this program in general has been over in the history of time, again, knowing there's been some good and some bad, it has historically been mediocre to bad. Right? Is that fair?
Yeah. So I'm going to take up Fred's side. Couldn't Fred's side say, well, then we need more than 3 years here? I mean, you're laying out a very passionate case that for the lack of tradition, the lack of winning, how difficult it is to build a winner here. Well, maybe he needs more than 3 years.
I don't think you actually mean that. You're trying to play out an actual.
I'm playing devil's advocate.
You're playing a major devil's
Trying
advocate.
to be fair.
I know.
Trying to be fair.
You're playing a crazy devil's advocate.
No, that's not crazy. It's not crazy.
I'll say it again. This program combined, historically, you would say, in general, with some good and some bad, it has been a mediocre to bad program.
Mike, hold on. I want to say
It is now horrible.
I'm going to play
and
the role of
horrendous.
AD here. Okay. I'm going to play the role of AD that makes the determination I can't pay this $18.5 million. It's not feasible. Then I have to come up with a statement and I have to say why I'm bringing Fred back. And that's the genesis of it. This program has historically struggled. One NCAA tournament appearance in the last 23 years, 24 years, in the last quarter century. One.
That's what I say. Yeah, one since
Okay.
1998.
So if I'm thinking about an AD statement, it's going to take a long time to rebuild this program. It's going to take a long time to build this program, not rebuild, build this program. It's not a 3-year deal.
What did we feel about Tim Miles in the rebuild he had to do? He made the dance in his second year, right? He made the NCAA tournament, predicted that season in the media poll, in the coaches poll, and finished 4th in the conference and made the big dance. For the first time since 98. For the first time in 16 years, the team made the dance. He didn't need 3 years to make it be respectable.
I don't know what Trev would say when someone came back at him like that. I would have to think about that with my advisors. Well,
Your devil's advocate advisors are really in pain right now.
We believe in. I mean,
your devil's advocate. I can see the sweat coming down your face,
really
Mr.
hard.
Devil's
Let's see
advocate.
what Mike says. Let's see if Mike can advocate for Fred.
464-5685. Call and text as always. Mike, you're on early break. Go ahead.
Hey guys, I guess I didn't know I had to have.
No, you don't have
Fred,
to.
but-
You don't have to.
No,
You
please
have
don't.
to.
Don't even
No,
try
I
it.
know. I'm just kidding, and I don't think he talked about this. I lost reception for a minute, but the thing that really bothers me about that Bandon comment,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
it's year 3. You know, if John Cook loses his setter because injuries happen, things happen, you not have a plan B. I guess that's what really bothers me. I think in year 3 there's no excuses as far as that goes. If the quarterback goes down, he better have somebody else prepared. That's just
Good point.
coaching. So to put it on one guy, that's even to me more of an indictment that, hey, we didn't have a plan because one guy could make the whole house of cards fall.
Oh, that's a good point, Mike. Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Oh, that's a really.
Thanks
Hey,
for the
Jake. Okay, now he just made a great point, and we need to acknowledge that. Okay, I you know where I go back to? You know what I was really struck by during the Pelini years? When your quarterback goes down, when your starting quarterback goes down, there's no grace. You get no grace in the sport of college football. And it's not just that way at Nebraska. That's everywhere.
That's everywhere.
Yeah, if your starting quarterback goes down, your fan base doesn't say, "Okay, throw out this season. We're not judging it. His starter went down."
It's NFL too. It's
Yeah,
that's
you
everywhere.
don't. That's not the way this world works. But I was really struck by that when it got down to the third string quarterback at Nebraska.
Ron Kellogg.
Ron Kellogg. Yeah, when it got down to Kellogg,
Who beat Northwestern with the Hail Mary.
beat
Geronimo.
Penn State, I believe.
Beat Penn State on the road.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
So yeah, I think, Jake, that a lot of people heard that Banton comment by Dave Revson, I think it triggered them. I think there was a degree. It did me. I will say that. I wondered right when Revson said, "Oh, I wonder how people are going to react to that." Well, that's 2 callers that brought it up. See, that's what I mean by Fred. A lot of what he says does not pass the sniff test. It just doesn't. It's surprising because he's the mayor. He seems like he's a very honorable person. I think he is. But a lot of this, what he says, just comes off as really sort of weak excuse making. And that Banton comment is really weak excuse making for the reason that Mike said. Okay, so that's it. Banton leaves, a guy that you benched last year that led the team in turnovers and shot 24% from the 3-point line. He leaves, and that's what the problem is?
Yeah. A guy, as I mentioned, was benched. This man was benched. This man on a bad team was benched.
I want to hear a Fred defender is what I prefer to hear.
I don't
Are you
think
seeing
that
it
they
on the
exist.
text line?
The only people that defend Fred are talking about the buyout. That's it. I mean, if money is the one thing holding you back, you just got to do it. You got to bite the bullet. And I know it sucks, but that cannot be the one
Can
thing.
you
that
imagine?
holds
But
you
Jake,
back.
the thing you're not taking into account is that this will have to be explained. Do you want Trev Alberts to be transparent in that conversation and say, we simply can't afford the buyout? We have to bring back Fred. What now?
Yeah,
Wait a second. Whoa. Now, how would that go over?
I think you'd have people pitch in saying, how can we help?
No. How would that go over? What's that saying? What is that? What is that?
That you're stuck?
Yeah. How unappealing is that? We would like to move on. We simply can't. What's that message sending to Fred? It'd be unfair. Let's face it. It would be unfair to Fred if you said that. You would have to come up with the reason I'm playing devil's advocate this morning is because essentially I'm playing the role of AD where you have to explain why you're bringing him back. Jake, you can't just bring him back without an explanation.
Well,
you can send out a statement, but there's going to be media that say, no, we need more than a statement, Trev. We need you to lay out the case for Fred. You have to lay out a case for him.
Does Trev want to do that?
We'd have to do it if he brings
Because
it back.
if the money,
Of course he wouldn't want to do it, but he have to do it. You can't simply say to your fan base, we're bringing him back because we can't afford to fire him. I don't think you can say that. Maybe you can. I mean, maybe I'm making a mountain out of a molehill. Maybe it's as simple as that. How often do you see that, though, Curtis?
yeah, you can't fire a guy because he costs too much to go away. It's just, the jokes write themselves here, man. This is so sick.
It's kind of funny when you think, about that.
I am speechless at times when I think about just how inept this place has been for years.
It's pretty when you think, now that you've reacted that way, think about Harrison. Think about Jimmy Kimmel could have a heyday with that.
Yeah, I mean, Nebraska can't fire the coach because it costs him too much to fire him.
They can't afford it.
This is a comedy show. We live in a comedy act, and for us, it's torture. For the others, it's hilarious.
Jimmy Kimmel would have a heyday with that. He would have a heyday with it.
I think of Iowa fans just looking at Nebraska in all sports and just laughing, saying, "You guys are pathetic." All these you haven't beat us since 14 in football. Basketball, we lose Luka Garza, we lose these guys, and guess what? We're a tournament team the next year. We're supposed to be bad. Here comes Keegan Murray to be a star. We got 25. Caitlin Clark in women's basketball, who's a stud. Look at us. We're the shiny toy. You're the idiot in the box over there.
In the box, Jake. Top 25, Iowa, top 25 team now.
Just beat Michigan State by 25 points. Luka Garza was honored at halftime, and they were pumped to see him there.
Curtis,
you're on early break. Go ahead.
Well, good morning.
Yes, good morning. Curtis.
Hey, I guess my question is, I mean, a lot of people had to sign off on these contracts to give them so much money to buy out, and it seems to be a recurring problem here. You know, Bo Pelini got paid for years after he got fired, and Scott had a huge buyout. I mean, who signed off on this that still works at the university? I mean, that seems to be kind of the problem.
Okay,
so that's all I have.
All right, Curtis, thank you. Curtis. Yeah, let's get this back on the tracks. So what happens, Curtis, is coaches nowadays, the standard procedure is to extend their contract so they have 5 years for recruiting purposes. So so that demonstrates stability, right? So that's why. Now, as far as Fred's contract goes, Fred's contract was extended secretly. It wasn't announced it would have been the summer of 2021, summer of 2021. It was not announced, which is a big issue with a lot of people, and I'd say including myself. Now, it's obviously you point the finger to a certain degree at Bill Moose. You point the finger at Fred a little bit for not saying, I think we should make this transparent and come out with it. But also, you're right, Curtis. It's not just Bill Moose that signs off on this extension. It has to be signed off on by Ronnie Green, has to be signed off by Ted So it goes higher up than the AD. There's a lot of people that are culpable. Now, as far as this buyout goes, Jake, what if he wouldn't have got extended for $3.5 million another year? We'd still be talking about a $15 million buyout.
That's a stupid high.
All right. Yeah, we'd still be talking about a $15 million buyout. Okay. And if we wait till, if we wait 2 years, it's going to be $11.5 million. I mean, see, what are we doing? That's why I think you have to do it now. I mean, it's not going to be like you're saving a bunch of money.
Right.
It's still going to be $15 million. You're in a fix. You are in a fix. We can talk about it in very adult terms, right? Teams 1-15. It looks very much like a team that's headed to 1-19 in the Big Ten. Like 7 wins. Now you remember though, I said at the beginning of the year, this team might not win 10.
And I know that's not acceptable.
Right.
That's something I'd say, well, okay, well, cool, you were right. That's not acceptable.
No.
There's no defense for that. There's no give us time. It's early. No, there's no defense. There's nothing out there. I will not listen to any more Hoiberg supporters. You can't. I will just tune you out. There's nothing there. I see the games with my own eyes. I see this team. They don't get better. They get worse. They had one win. Congratulations. You beat Minnesota, who is scuffling also. You beat them. Other than that, you make Northwestern look like they should be a 6th seed in the tournament, the NCAA tournament, and they're overall
they might get rid of Collins.
13-13. They might fire their coach.
I don't know that though. I mean, they haven't made even the NIT in the last 5 years. They haven't made the NCAA tournament or the NIT in the last 5 years, and they have your number. Collins is 9-2 against Nebraska.
9-2. All right, that's enough. Let's talk to Sean Callahan next. An early break on the ticket.
Breakfast tacos, brisket tacos, pork tacos, chicken tacos. You hungry yet? I can keep going. Pork or chicken, queso nachos, queso mac and cheese, hatch mac burritos. Now you're salivating. Muchachos is Lincoln's premier New Mexico barbecue fusion restaurant. You can't miss them in their bright blue building. Pair that great food with delicious coffee for breakfast and a variety of local and national beers on tap the rest of the day. Order your food online at yomuchacho.com or visit them in person at Muchachos on South 11th Street between L and K Streets.
Gray Diesel and Equipment Services is your go-to place in Lincoln for repairs and maintenance for diesel pickups to Class 8 over-the-road trucks and trailers, from bumper pole utility to full-size semi. Gray performs DOT inspections and are a service provider for fleet companies like ARI, Element Fleet, and FleetNet. They're a family-owned business in operation since 1952, and they keep a clean, friendly shop. Customer service is their top priority. Give Gray Diesel and Equipment Services a visit today with easy access just off I-80 and North 56th Street.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too, and that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. But our part-time service in the Army National Guard means we get to be more. When our communities are in need, we get the chance to stand up and do something about it. We get to serve in our own region and help the people we call neighbors. Whether they are in the mountains of New Mexico, the plains of Nebraska and Kansas, the ranches of Oklahoma and Texas, the farmlands of Missouri and Arkansas, or the bayous of Louisiana, we are here for our hometowns. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the Nebraska Army National Guard. Aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association at this station.
Bagels & Joe is ready for winter with white chocolate raspberry cream cheese. Great on any bagel. And try a grilled Italian panini for lunch with ham, prosciutto, banana peppers, and provolone on a sun-dried tomato bagel. Bagels & Joe, 4 Lincoln locations.
Your home should not be a zoo to unwelcomed animals. Let the experts at Bats to Rats take care of those problems. Dane has been a leader in wildlife and pest management and prevention in Lincoln and the surrounding area for 15 years. He can help you get rid of bats, rodents, and anything else. Whether it's residential or commercial buildings, schools, apartments, or churches, they're always a phone call away. Call today at 402-310-0904 or visit batstoRats.com. Bats to Rats Wildlife Control and Prevention.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now they've raised wages again and they're hiring for production operators at $22.07 per hour and other select jobs starting at $23.77 per hour, with wages growing up to $29.71 per hour. Continental also has salaried jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates. To learn more or to apply, go to continental-jobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Today on Hey Culligan, unnecessary contaminants. Here's the referee.
Hey Culligan, that's a flag on my water for flagrant foul taste.
Ooh, that's a tough one, ref, but the solution is a Culligan Smart RO drinking water system that reduces up to 58 contaminants, making your water safer and delicious.
Yeah, I guess I missed that call.
And with the Culligan Connect app, you always know when your filters need changing.
The water's up and it's good.
Good call, ref, and we're already on the way.
Try a Culligan water softener for just $9.95 per month. Go to CulliganLincoln.com.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by Security First Bank. A relationship you can count on.
Your KFXL Fox Nebraska weather. Another cold one expected for Wednesday with a high of 15 along with a mix of sun and clouds. A 40% chance for snow comes in Wednesday night with a low right around 1 below. Snow becomes likely on Thursday with a high right around 14, along with mostly cloudy skies. I'm meteorologist Regina Bird for 93.7 The Ticket and TicketFM.com.
This
Anybody who knows me knows I was cocky out of the womb.
is Early Break with Sip and Jake, brought to you by Gaina Trucking. Weekday mornings from 6 to 8 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
In this time of misery for Nebraska men's sports, football 3-9, basketball now 1-15 in conference play and 7-20 overall, it is important to focus on some positives. We're now joined by Husker Online Sean Callahan, and there was some positive news last night for football and the future. 3-star quarterback William Watson III from Massachusetts commits to Nebraska. Sean, good morning. Tell us about William Watson and how long has Nebraska been on his radar?
Well, I mean, for Mark Whipple, they've been on the radar of William Watson since he was in 6th grade. This goes back a long time.
Hello.
6th grade.
Yeah, I talked to Watson last night, pretty late around 10 o'clock last night. So was able to learn a lot more about him. And we'll have that on the Husker Online show on the Ticket on Saturday morning, the full interview with William Watson.
Sweet.
But, listening to him, Whipple was at UMass. So, Whipple had 2 tours of duty at UMass as a head coach. He was a national championship coach there early on. Then he came back late when they became an FBS school for another stint. And Watson would go and go to the camps and work the camps and be around the camps as a young kid. So Whipple had been watching this kid and working with this kid since he was a 6th grader. And that's kind of where it all started. And the coach of Springfield Central, and what I learned about Springfield, it's kind of like Chicago when you're in Illinois. Chicago's the big city, and then Springfield's kind of out in the boondocks. I mean, Western Mass is not Boston. It's 2.5 hours away. So, it's a blue collar kind of gritty area. And they've won 3 state championships in a row with William Watson in the highest class. And he said, he goes, yeah, those rich Catholic kids in Boston, they don't like getting beat by us, but we won 3 in a row over them the last few years, and had some pretty good teams out in Springfield. And he's been the guy. I mean, people out there have said he's one of the best talents that's come out of that area in 20 years. He's also a basketball player. He's a track runner. And I found this interesting, Sip. He throws the javelin. I've dealt with a lot of athletes in my time in Nebraska that play football. I don't know if I ever have met one that's thrown the javelin.
That is pretty amazing, especially at his size. He's not the biggest guy, right?
Yeah, he's 6 foot, 185.
Yeah.
He can sling it, though. I mean, we've got Greg Peterson put together some pretty good clips last night from the Rivals camp. And when you watch the ball come out of his hand, it comes out of his hand. But to me, this commitment, it really tells you this was Whipple's move, because you had kind of part of the staff moving on Avery Johnson.
Yeah.
And it looked like that was going to happen, that he was coming up here in March. That was at least the plan.
Yeah, Avery Johnson from outside Wichita.
Yeah, Mays, Kansas, Wichita area. And then you had J.J. Cole from Des Moines, Ankeny, Iowa, that had been on campus. And I think the perception, at least amongst fans, were these were the top 2 targets, a Wichita quarterback and a Des Moines quarterback. Well, Watson had been on campus January 22nd, got his offer. So this was Whipple's guy. This is the guy that he had been on. And I think a lot of people were kind of surprised, just like, whoa, they're getting their quarterbacks today. So they're well on their way. They got 5 guys committed for 2022 now. They're in good shape on the in-state compared to a year ago, guys. They're in really good shape on the in-state, and they've got their quarterback in February.
Yeah, so this is, just to clarify, this is for the class of 2023, correct?
Correct. Yep.
Yeah.
2022 is obviously done. I mean, a lot of those guys are here. So, yeah, you're working ahead now. And he plans to early enroll, so he'll be here a year from now.
Okay, and this shows a willingness on the part of Whipple to recruit a dual threat, because we're talking about a dual threat quarterback, correct?
Yeah, he can run.
I love it.
He compared himself to a Lamar Jackson type.
I love that.
So he's a guy that can run. I mean, he's people say he's about the same size as Casey Thompson. I mean, he might be an inch shorter, but built pretty similar. And he's a competitor. He's a basketball player, a track guy. I mean, his high school team played against IMG Academy this past year. I mean, they didn't back down from anybody.
Sean, in terms of spring football starting up here in 5 days, I'm curious as we get there, what kind of chance do you believe the quarterbacks behind Casey Thompson feel like they have in the race, especially in the spring, to get things going?
Well, I've been with Chuba Purdy now, interviewed him once, and then we had him at our deal at St. Michael's as well. And he's a competitor. He didn't come here just to sit the bench. I mean, he's going to compete. Obviously, Logan Smothers has got a start under his belt, but yeah, I mean, Chuba has the leg up. I don't think anyone. He's got the most Power 5 starting experience. Nobody has started the level of games that he's played at that level. So, he's naturally going to have an advantage. But Chuba, when you look at his film when he was healthy, and he's apparently now healthy, he's just as good. I mean, he's a really talented quarterback, and he can run. Chuba Purdy's running ability is what really, really caught me by surprise. How hard he runs and how well he can run. Now, I don't know if he wants to run like that anymore because that's how he got hurt, I think. But he's a runner too.
So you have Logan Smothers and Heinrich Harburg, whom you can't rule out, correct? I mean, you can't. Those guys are very much a part of this.
Well, then Torres is going to miss the spring coming off a knee injury. But, yeah, Harburg has got really, really good arm talent, and he's a good athlete. I mean, I think people forget about that. I mean, last spring we were talking this guy up like he had a great future. And then, Smothers, okay, let's say he's not the guy. Could you create a way to use him still, like a wildcat or just a different type of package?
Yeah, I'm sure he'd love that.
And Whipple's really innovative. I mean, he'll figure it out. I talked to a UMass guy yesterday on the phone last night too, and he said that when Whipple was the head coach of UMass, he goes, they didn't have much talent, but they found ways to put 40 or 50 points on about anybody they played. I mean, he's just really, really good at drawing up stuff that works.
Okay, Sean Callahan of HuskerOnline.com. We're gearing up for the start of spring ball on Monday, I believe is the day, correct?
Big Monday, yep.
Big Monday. What questions you have in your brain as the final few days of the world as we know it before spring ball unravel? What final questions do you have?
Yeah, it's going to be. I mean, I'm intrigued with
what do you got?
Some position group. I mean, quarterback's obvious, but the secondary in the wide receiver groups are two that I think we're going to see a lot and learn a lot this spring. Those intrigue me. Offensive line, I want to see the jump these guys make under Raiola. How it looks. I know they're missing a lot of key people, but it's going to be a fun spring. There's no doubt about it. I mean, you look at what they've got on campus with so many newcomers and new coaches. This is about as intriguing of a spring as you're going to see.
Last question, Sean. I saw you tweet this over the weekend about state wrestling with Tyson Terry, a true freshman from Omaha North, the first freshman to ever win as a heavyweight in Class A wrestling. He holds a Nebraska football offer too. Is this a guy you think will be blowing up over the next couple of years in the Midwest? Yeah,
potentially. And we were fact checked on that stat. It was announced he was the first. There was actually a heavyweight freshman champion in 1971. Friend never went on to win it again. But so he's the first guy to do it in the Class A or B ranks. Yeah, he's a phenomenal talent. 6'3", 270. We had him at our in-state tour on Sunday. Just built tough. I mean, he's a North Omaha kid through and through. His family has grown up there. He wanted to go to Omaha North. I mean, a lot of people wanted this kid to go anywhere. Between Millard South and West Side, he could go anywhere he wanted, and been a standout player. But truly believes in Larry Martin, the North Omaha community. And, I think North's going to be a player down the road. And, I like where Nebraska sits with this kid long-term, offering first and where they're at. But yeah, he's going to get some offers, no doubt.
Sean, always good stuff. Thanks for the time. We will chat with you again next week.
Okay, guys. Thanks.
Really good
Husker
stuff.
Online, Sean Callahan.
Sean already talking about Logan Smothers perhaps Bowing out of the quarterback situation. No, he didn't say
be
that.
a wildcat type, you know, why not?
He didn't say that.
Hey, Logan, you're not going to start here. How can we get you on the field, though?
He didn't say that. This quarterback commitment is interesting. Watson is his name, William Watson III. Harrison was watching video of him over there.
Saw that.
I could see it, and he is a run. He can run. I mean, I saw him run his own read play right up the middle. He kept it and ran right up the middle and just outran everybody. Didn't go around the end. Went right through the middle. Get it? And that it was.
What can I not get out of that?
He didn't bounce it outside. Is what I'm saying.
Wow. What?
So
what a thought.
So yeah, they got a quarterback for the class of 2023 locked in.
William
What's
Watson
interesting
III.
about this is now I hope people aren't confused that listen to our show. I'm sure most of them are.
They're
If they listen on a daily
confused,
basis, they're
yeah.
confused. But we talked up Avery Johnson of right outside Wichita as and I think I probably characterized him as the number one target. Hopefully Whipple wasn't listening that day because Mark Whipple obviously had other plans. But Johnson was someone that Nebraska was pursuing, as Sean mentioned, J.J. Cole outside of Des Moines. But they got their guy now. Now they got their guy.
William Watson.
It's possible they felt that with Avery Johnson, they were chasing a ghost and that they could get left with nothing if they kept chasing.
Maybe they've learned from past
Right.
recruiting experiences about chasing ghosts here.
Right.
Wasting time.
You also have in the class of 2024 sitting out there Dylan Raiola. So you have to keep that in the back of your mind too. Why do you smile?
Nothing. I'll tell you during the break.
Okay.
It's a tweet.
Okay.
From a friend of ours.
Okay.
All right. When we come back,
What do we talk about when we come back?
We'll have the mailbag.
Tease it.
I have questions. I want more though. If you have any questions, you can text us right now. 402-464-5685. Mailbag and song of the day is up next on Early Break on the Ticket.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com. Fruitcakes are just for Christmas, right? Gosh, I feel sorry for you. I mean, what if we had done that with bacon? Bacon is only for breakfast. We'd never have bacon cheeseburgers. We'd never be able to save a salad by adding bacon bits. We'd never have Brinner. That's breakfast for dinner. Don't limit yourself. Fruitcakes for St. Patrick's Day. Fruitcakes for graduation. Fruitcakes for Thursday. Beatrice Bakery and Grandma's Fruitcakes are perfect for every occasion. Check them out in downtown Beatrice or online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful. I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman. Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
We're definitely coming back in the future.
Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
Bagels & Joe is ready for winter with white chocolate raspberry cream cheese, great on any bagel. And try a grilled Italian panini for lunch with ham, prosciutto, banana peppers, and provolone on a sun-dried tomato bagel. Bagels & Joe, 4 Lincoln locations.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. And Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Mike Shaver here for Trek CBD. There's a lot of CBD shops opening up in Lincoln, but Trek CBD focuses on quality above all else. Their products are from local CBD company Nico Farms and are third-party laboratory tested. They have products that can help with stress, anxiety, pain, relief, and more, and have a wide selection of Delta 8, including Serene 8. Trek CBD is locally owned and operated. Go visit Scott or Shannon at their 84th and Highway 2 location, or go online to Trek CBD with free delivery. Trek CBD. CBD done right.
You spend more time in your garage than outdoors in the wintertime. Isn't it time to get it organized? Call Travis at Classic Garage Solutions for his variety of organization packages. Turn your garage from a cluttered mess to a clean, organized space that'll be the envy of the neighborhood and something you can be proud of. You don't need to bring the same clutter from last year into the new year. Travis has storage options for cabinets, monkey bar shelving, or slat wall, and more. Call Classic Garage Solutions today at 402-730-1638. Gray Diesel and Equipment Services is your go-to place in Lincoln for repairs and maintenance for diesel pickups to Class 8 over-the-road trucks and trailers, from bumper pole utility to full-size semi. Gray performs DOT inspections and are a service provider for fleet companies like ARI, Element Fleet, and FleetNet. They're a family-owned business in operation since 1952, and they keep a clean, friendly shop. Customer service is their top priority. Give Gray Diesel and Equipment Services a visit today with easy access just off I-80 and North 56th Street.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too, and that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. But our part-time service in the Army National Guard means we get to be more. When our communities are in need, we get the chance to stand up and do something about it. We get to serve in our own region and help the people we call neighbors. Whether they are in the mountains of New Mexico, the plains of Nebraska and Kansas, the ranches of Oklahoma and Texas, the farmlands of Missouri and Arkansas, or the bayous of Louisiana, we are here for our hometowns. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the Nebraska Army National Guard. Aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association at this station.
You love to bash his sports takes.
Now, will you feel like an idiot if you're
No,
a big tough?
never feel like an
if
idiot.
you're a big tough guy this morning,
But you really love to voice your displeasure for his music choices.
he stumbled on an issue that I did not think would generate this much passion and discussion.
It's time for Jake's questionable song of the day on Early Break on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You might think I'm crazy, hang around with you. Maybe you think I'm lucky, that's something to do. But I think that you're wild, inside me you're some child. You might think I'm foolish, but maybe it's untrue. You might think I'm crazy. All I want is you.
Song of the day, You Might Think by The Cars. 464-56851 1 is bad, 10 is good. Texture rating on the Sauter Heyman Jewelers Song of the Day.
Movies, everything so. But I think that you're wild when you flash that fragile smile. You might think it's foolish what you put me through. You might think I'm crazy. All I want is you.
Once again, your Song of the Day, You Might Think by The Cars. 464-56851 1 is bad, 10 is good. Texture rating on the Sauter Heyman Jewelers Song of the Day. We're getting some weird looks over there for a band that we like on this show.
I like it.
There was some odd looks over there.
I mean, it's not
disappointed, let down, bothered looks.
You're good at this. Give me 6 Cars songs right now.
Since You're Gone, Magic, Just What I Needed, Drive. Here's 4. What
You're
else I
incredible.
got?
You're Candy O.
Yeah, Candy O. That one's all right.
Yeah.
That one, you
Okay.
might think.
Yeah, you got 6.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Come on, you like the Cars. Rick Ocasek, whatever his name is, R.I.P.
Who's going to take you home?
Yeah, that's Drive.
Oh, Drive.
I said that.
Sorry.
I said that.
It's my
one.
bad.
Who's going to drive you home tonight?
Who's going to take you home tonight?
That's Eddie Money. R.I.P. Also, they died the same day, I believe, the same weekend.
No, not the same day. It's like,
I think they're the same weekend. Those two, Eddie Money and Rick Ocasek, died like 2 days or 1 day apart.
is that right?
Like 2 years ago.
Not much to say about that song. It's fine. It's a
You like the Cars?
I do like the Cars. Haven't heard them in a while. I'll give that a 6. 6.
I thought you liked the Cars.
I like them. That song's pretty standard. Meh. 6. All right. I think
You got to guess
Harrison.
Harrison's. But you want to guess the year real quick on that one? I have it.
Sure. Hold on. I'll do this. Oh, come on. I can do this. Because I can remember one of my good friends. I don't mind saying his name, Brian Redrow. We grew up together. And I remember when he got this album. And I must have been in the 8th grade. So I'm going to say that was 1978.
I got 1984.
Oh, maybe I'm thinking did they have an album before that?
Probably. But you'd been a senior in high school probably for this one.
Oh, okay. Missed that. 84.
That's YC.
Okay.
We got to guess Harrison's score. Good morning, Harrison. Oh, yeah, you get the microphones
Morning,
over
boys.
there. There it is. Okay.
How are you, Harrison?
Doing great. Doing better than yesterday.
We're glad to have you here today.
Yes.
We got to get Harrison's score. 3.
You're on the right track.
0.2.
Yeah, I'll go slightly higher. I'll go 3.5. It's not going to be a high grade. This is not a high grade coming. 3.5.
4.2.
What?
4.2.
It's still not high.
Still
I'm
not
still
high.
stunned by it.
4.2, very meh.
Yeah, I don't know. Just kind of like a sappy, kind of cheesy sounding song.
This show has not been particularly uplifting today.
Well, is it always though? Right now, this Nebraska's 2-23 in men's sports this year in conference play. At least it's not very cheery all the time. I told you they got a quarterback though,
Stay there,
William
Harrison.
Watson III.
Yeah. What is your? I mean, how much do you know about the Cars? Did you know the name Rick Ocasek?
I know about the band name. That's about it. Like if someone said the Cars, I could be like, yeah, that's a band. That's as far as
you
it
didn't know
goes.
any songs.
No.
Your
I won't be
parents?
able to list them off. I'm sure my parents probably. I don't think they would even like them. I wouldn't think so.
You wouldn't think so?
It doesn't seem like
Not
their
their
genre.
style.
No.
See, now me and Jake do like the Cars. There's some songs I really
Yeah,
like.
I'm just shocked at your just dismissal of that song.
That's an example of a Car song that never really hit me very hard. And you
It's
played
one
it
of
today.
their biggest songs. It did well, you know.
That's it.
All right, I got some lyrics.
Thank you.
I got.
No, you stay right there. You
Oh,
stay
we're doing
right
Tom
there.
Petty?
Yeah, we're doing
Yes.
Tom Petty.
Yeah,
All right.
get into your Tom Petty mode. Pretend like you just got out of bed and you're in Gainesville, Florida. Okay.
All right, here we go. Here's
And you're headed to pick oranges off the tree.
here's your line, Harrison. Well, yeah, I might have chased a couple of women around. All it ever got me was down.
It's pretty a lot. That's a lot. Can you? That's a lot.
It's fine. When you repeat it again, I can read
Well-
it again.
Well, yeah.
Okay, no. Well, yeah, I might have chased a couple of women around. All it ever got me was down. I'm trying to get the song pulled up here.
Take your time.
All right,
Yeah, take
I'm
your
ready.
time with this one.
Okay. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, and.
Well, yeah, I might chased a couple women around, but all it did is got me down.
That's okay. All right. Okay. That's not bad. Now, let's see if I got the right part.
I'm always
in this
curious
song.
about the pace on
No,
these.
that was good. That sounded pretty good.
He butchered it a little bit.
All right, hang on. I'm trying to get. Oh God, this is embarrassing. I'm trying to find the song. There it is. All right, here we go. I thought you did a nice job.
Pretty nice.
You got that. You
That
had
was like
you
a 4
had
today.
you had the twang nailed there.
It's like a 4.
You gave him a 4?
I give myself a 4 on
He
that
gave
one.
himself a 4.
Well, we didn't give him like the proper.
We have to in the future. We have to
So-
cut down the wordage a little bit.
Well, we didn't
It's
have
a lot. That's
listen,
expecting a
listen,
lot.
We were not ready today. I had to figure that out right now on the spot.
Yeah, you did good.
Thank you. So Harrison, we'll have shorter lines tomorrow. A
Yeah,
shorter line
like
tomorrow.
like this one.
Watch her walk.
Can you do that one again?
Watch her walk.
There it is. All right, thank you, Harrison.
Yeah.
Let's get to the mailbag.
Great stuff.
We got several submissions today alike on the mailbag. So let's play that not Beck music. It's Gorillas. Still is
Yeah.
Gorillas.
Cool Beck.
No, it's not Beck. All right, several to start with. Here we go from Jared.
Jared.
This is a serious football question. Not Nebraska, but just football. He says, with the Big 12 replacing Oklahoma and Texas with UCF, BYU, Cincinnati, and Houston, in a few years, will we still be talking about the Power 5, or will it just become 4 power
Ooh, that's a
conferences?
good question. I wonder why that's on his mind.
I said that on Monday, by the way.
Is that still a power conference to you? That's a really good question, by the way.
Well, right now it will still be called, but by 2 years, are we still viewing the Big 12 as a power?
Who will be the best teams in the Big 12 at that point? Iowa State.
Depends where if Matt Campbell's still there at Iowa
Oklahoma
State.
State. Oklahoma State.
Baylor.
Iowa State. Baylor. Yeah. I'm going. Hey, to answer the question, let's answer questions, okay? Let's do this. We're going to answer questions. What was the fellow's name?
That was
Matt?
No.
Jeez, Jake.
Hang on. That was Jared.
Jared.
Jared in Norfolk.
Jared.
Jared
Jared.
in Norfolk.
Jared. Still a power conference. Still a power conference. Yes. Jake?
I think for a couple years, yeah. And we'll see where it's at in 3 or 4 years.
All right. What's your answer?
This is from Kelly. Kelly's always a loyal mailbag person here. Kelly says, my birthday was a couple weeks ago, and my wife surprised me with quite the gift. A red T-shirt with the professional portrait of Stephen M. Sipple with that what looks to be duct tape over his mouth that says "Shut up, Sipple."
Yep.
It is glorious and is my new go-to Husker game day shirt. It's got me thinking. If you had to create a T-shirt for the show based on a segment or quote, what would you go with? Suggestions: Bagel Boy, Jake air guitaring to Reeling in the Years.
Okay.
Double Barrel Wednesday with Jake, Sip, Parker, and Sean as Cowboys.
I'd like that. I'd like a T-shirt like that.
Something with Jake's questionable song of the day, SEC, a Den of Vipers. And of course, the one that people want is I had 4 25-ounce beers and I feel fine. That one has that one has to
that
exist.
one would be good.
We
What
need
other
that.
sane? What others? Wow,
Dave brought in donuts and other treats. Looks like.
Dave.
Shout out to Dave.
Dave.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you. Okay, what other sane? I think I speak for all the people.
Yeah, I speak for
you.
the people.
Okay, so what okay? Can I do this? I imagine you at a podium with a presidential look, some sort of presidential look with a suit on.
I speak for the people.
Yeah, and with your one arm raised, and the words, "I think I speak for all the people." ...
We need one that says for you.
I like
where-
that one.
We need one that says where were the Purdue women
No,
at?
no, we don't, because there's an inappropriate
But people
element to that.
understand. You know, people understand. it.
People understand that I'm inappropriate.
No, they understand what the joke was about. He said
No,
you were
they
just
don't.
confused
See, that's
about
the thing.
half
They don't understand.
Mm.
No, I don't like that idea. I like the idea of you at some sort of lectern podium with one arm raised in a suit with a red, white, and blue tie, with the words, I think I speak for all the people. ...
Oh, I like that one.
Yeah, that's a good one. Is that a good one, Harrison?
Yeah, I've always thought about a shirt that has all of our different various colors and textures. Like, you for the Vegas Bobcat, you don't put a person, you put a Bobcat. It's like, in Vegas there, you get the guys at the Baldwin shop, just like all together, drinking a cup of coffee, something like that.
Yeah, that'd be hard. That'd be a hard
I
shirt
know.
to make.
I need like a person who can draw caricatures, a collage of caricatures all together.
I do like that idea of Double Barrel Wednesday.
I like that too. You, me, Parker, and Sean in
cowboy get up.
Like walking into a saloon or what? We're not.
No, just four pictures of us in cowboy gear.
Not with each other.
Yeah, together.
Sitting at the bar. I think you got to walk into the saloon. Double Barrel Wednesday.
Well, how would you?
You see
How would
us
you
walking-
depict that on
you
a
see the doors,
t-shirt?
the doors
How
have-
would you depict? This is not.
The doors have just opened as you walk into the saloon. You see
Okay.
that the
All
doors
right.
have swung open. Here
Okay.
come us. We're
All
walking
right.
most. You can show a picture of someone walking.
Yeah.
Draw someone walking.
Yeah, this is really hard hitting radio at this point.
Mailbag, as it always is.
All right, go ahead.
The last one we'll get to is: do you believe in UFOs?
I actually, yes, I absolutely believe in UFOs. I do. Come on, how many times have you seen? Have you looked up in the sky and thought that don't look right, honey? What the hell is that? I mean, how many times? When you say that ain't a plane.
Once I try to convince myself it's a plane or
Uh-huh.
a shooting star.
No, there's been too many times over the course of 55 years. You might be driving with your parents when you were a kid. You might be out by yourself, but you see something that just doesn't add up, right?
Yeah, I've seen it. It
just doesn't. It's not a plane. That's not a plane.
Sip is in on UFOs.
Oh
I'm
God,
out.
yes. I'm not worried about a UFO takeover like aliens landing at Shoemakers in that field right west of
you have trees back there,
if they were going to land, that field west of Shoemakers would be an ideal spot. They could just go over to Shoemakers and see what's going on. The
UFO,
creatures,
the aliens and the UFO.
Yeah, they or they could walk to the west and go to Emerald and get some ice cream at the ice cream shop.
Merle's is closed. They can't go to Merle's.
Can't go to Merle's.
That's
I don't even
sad.
think Merle's is I don't think the building's there anymore.
Building's gone.
Yeah.
'Cause I drove by a couple years ago and it was still up.
Yeah. Now somebody could correct me if I'm wrong. Our listeners out that way, right
the
west,
west
right
of-
to the west of Shoemakers.
Going to Milford, basically.
Yeah. I don't think that Merle's building's even standing anymore.
Well, someone needs to bring back a new Merle's in Emerald. I make the drive.
No, it's
I
not- it's a
travel.
very short
I
drive.
travel for good restaurants.
It's a very short drive.
I'll do it. Top of the hour next on Early Break in the Ticket. Last thing before break, guys, I've been telling you for a long time about craft axe throwing and how it's a great time for all parties, big or small, and beginners or experts. It's a lot of fun on the 13 throwing lanes. They've got private events for groups of all sizes, and it provides a truly memorable afternoon or evening for everyone in your party. Craft Axe Throwing has a stock bar and multiple TVs to watch all the different games. To schedule your next corporate or social event or for more information on their leagues and events, call them today at 402-802-9696. Again, that's Craft Axe Throwing at 18th and N in Lincoln.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful. I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman. Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back in the future.
Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
Are you tired of lousy internet and faceless customer service? It's time to experience local, honest, hassle-free, and exceptional. That's the Allo Promise. We not only provide crazy fast fiber internet, crystal clear TV, and dependable phone service, but we choose to become a part of the communities that we serve and love when everyone calls or stops by our store to say hello. So don't settle for mediocre, settle for exceptional with Allo. Visit us at allofiber.com/local.
Tune in to the Teammates Mentoring Hour each Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket. Hear stories from the program started by Tom and Nancy Osborne and how it's changed mentors and mentees' lives and how you can be involved. The Teammates Mentoring Hour, Wednesday nights from 6 to 7 o'clock on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Eustace Body Shop. Our customers send their friends. That's the greatest compliment we can receive. If you've been in an accident, we'll get you back in your vehicle as quickly as possible. Our technicians care about you and your family and repair your vehicle to factory standards. We handle your claim from start to finish and provide a free loaner car. Stop by for a free estimate. Eustace Body Shop, just south of 88th and Highway 2.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
You know that feeling after a good, hearty meal? The worries of the world just slip away. time slows down. Nothing but good times and good company. That's what you get with Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Mary Ellen's does food right, with a menu that includes smoked wings, pulled pork, brisket, catfish, and don't sleep on their sides, shrimp and grits, collard greens, baked beans. It's food that makes your heart happy. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul, just east of 27th and Pineland. Let them fix you a plate.
Hey, Steve. Welcome to Great Clips.
Great Clips asks, what's the difference between good and great?
Come on back and have a seat.
Good asks you what haircut you'd like.
I have all your details from last time. Would you like the same haircut today?
Great already knows. With Clip Notes, we save your haircut details so you can get the same thing as last time, every time. Download our online check-in app today. Great Clips. It's gonna be great.
Wake up, Lincoln.
Come on, it's 6 o'clock. Rise and shine, rise and shine.
It's time for Early Break with Sip and Jake, brought to you by Gaina Trucking. Live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC studios in the heart of Lincoln, America. Here's 93.7 The Ticket's Jake Sorensen.
Did seem kind of meh.
And the Lincoln Journal Star's Steve Sipple.
Surprisingly good.
This is Early Break with Sip and Jake, sponsored by Gaina Trucking.
Welcome back to Hour 2 on a Wednesday. Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen, Early Break, fun show. So glad you get the podcast at theticketfm.com. By the way, several texters confirming, Sip, that, the Merles and Emerald no longer there.
Hey, thanks, several
I'm
texters.
seeing from Rubber Duck. It says, Sip, there is a storage unit just there
That's
now.
what I thought.
It's sad.
Kind of is. Kind of is.
Why can't we bring back some things from the past? You know,
What would you like to bring
did
back?
Merle's fail?
I don't know.
Because it was just too small of a town?
Now, hold on, Jake. I'm glad we have these discussions. You don't know that it failed, first of all. Maybe it was a conscious decision by an owner to retire.
Okay.
I don't know why it's not there, but I don't know that it, quote unquote, failed. So be careful with that.
Fair.
I don't know why. I don't know why it's not still there, but I'm glad that my eyes didn't deceive me. The building's not there. It was that building, Merle's, had a lot of character.
Did you ever go?
I was hoping you wouldn't ask. No, I never did.
But you've heard that had
Yeah,
character.
I always meant.
But you drove by it quite a bit.
Yeah, drove in that parking lot a lot on my hog.
Okay.
And regrouped.
Yeah. See that.
And one time sped out of there pretty fast in the gravel and about went down.
Yeah, well, you can't do
I
that.
I do remember
do
it for
that.
that. No, not on a. No, motorcycle riders will tell you that gravel is very dangerous, scary on a hog. You hit a little gravel, you can lose the whole thing.
Okay, we have some clarity from Bubba.
Bubba.
It did not fail. It was for sale for a long time,
Okay.
and the owners retired.
Yeah.
Well, if this place was successful, then why didn't someone buy it then?
Would you stop it?
I'm just trying to say that.
Why are you making this into a thing?
I am making it into a thing.
Would you calm down a little
Harrison
bit?
might be aware from his parents in Hardington that there's a place I never went to called Bogner's up in Crofton, Nebraska, where my wife is from. People would come down from Yankton and Vermilion. It's a very popular steakhouse in northeast Nebraska that
Mhm.
burned down in the late 90s.
Okay.
And no one ever rebuilt it again. It was very successful.
And that bothers
People liked it. Yeah, so why would we just let this go and say, well, it's a thing of the past. We enjoyed it, and you leave it where it's at?
That's a good question.
If it was successful and did well, rebuild it and do it again. Make
You have
it
a lot-
better.
You have a lot of spirit.
I do. All the spirit. I'm passionate about several things in this
Yes,
life.
I do know that. Mhm.
You may have figured that out over the years. I have some
figured-
passion about
yeah,
some
in
things.
the first segment.
I did.
You were pretty passionate.
I'm the idiot in the box over here.
We are idiots in a box. Is that a saying?
I don't know where it comes
Is
from
that a
sometimes.
saying?
Jennifer says Merle's was fun and really had good food on as a whole. So
Yeah.
sad. It's gone.
Yeah, I'm glad we're a little late in this.
Couple years late.
In paying homage to Merle's. But it did come up. And that part of that neck of the woods has been very important in my life. That Shoemaker's Emerald
West O Street.
Yeah, I like going to Shoemakers. And all right. I mean, you're just going to make fun of me for
I'm
saying
not
this,
making fun of you.
But if you go to Shoemakers, you understand there's a big rock. There's actually two of them.
You've told us about the big rock before.
Yeah, on the west side of Shoemakers that I'll just go over there and park the hog and then get on, sit on that rock and talk on the phone and stare out in that field. There's a field. And it's
like me staring into the sun.
Yeah, it's very relaxing. Like you get out. In fact, I might go there today.
Don't stare into the sun. Just the field.
The field, yeah.
Just that's me. That's me in depression.
But people that have
during
been out that way
COVID.
know exactly what I'm talking about, where you're ripping out on West O. You just keep rolling out to Emerald.
Then
It's really quick.
eventually.
The trip to Emerald's really quick.
That's why.
I mean, it sounds like it's another town, but it's not that much different than like going to, like in time wise, Havelock.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Havelock's, in the center of town. Though.
Havelock's like going to a different little town. Have you ever noticed
Yeah,
that?
that's why I love Havelock.
I know.
but it's engulfed by the city, though.
Me and Harrison are agreeing on this.
love
Harriman shook his head like, nah, not really.
I
It's still kind of an entity unto itself. Wouldn't you say?
it is, and I commend them for that. For
Commend
still
them.
being, I commend Havelock, the businesses and
Yes.
citizens of Havelock for
Yes.
still feeling like that's a small town.
It feels like that. I lived over there for me and Lori's first house. We lived over there for a period, I don't know, 6 or 7 years, and it did feel like you were
It's a
in
wonderful area.
It felt like you were in another town.
I love it, but you're not. It's still Lincoln, though. I love it though.
He's very adamant about some things, isn't he?
464-5685. Call or text as always. You can also comment.
Yeah, I like
on
this
the
next. Oh, sorry.
Starter Heyman Jewelers video stream on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. Okay, it is. Hey,
Sorry about that.
it is it's a big day today for Nebraska because it is a certain birthday of a icon in this state, Tom Osborne, 85 years old today.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday! First of all, happy birthday to Tom, the TO. We'll talk about that, of course, tonight on the
Ask the
Teammates
question.
Mentoring Hour from 6 to 7 p.m., which he founded with his wife.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
Tonight.
Well, we won't he won't be on the show, but
Right.
we will sure mention this also on the
Okay,
show.
but there's a mentoring hour
The
tonight.
Teammates Mentoring Hour is tonight from 6 to 7 p.m. as every Wednesday night.
Okay.
But I'm curious, when you look at how things are right now with the football program and just men's sports in general, did people take his success for granted?
Do you even have to ask that question?
I'm just curious. I'd like to get it all out there
What do you
on the
think?
radio.
What do you think?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Do we realize now how much you took it for granted, though?
I hope so.
Or did people realize in the moment they were taking it for granted?
There's a dangerous part of this conversation that you really sound like a person like you or me, me in particular, that you really could sound obnoxious, right? And really sound haughty and like you're on a soapbox. But you asked that question and I read the rundown last night and I laughed. I snickered. When you look at how things are, did people take Tom Osborne's success for granted? Oh my God. Yeah. In the moment, after the moment. Yeah. All of it. A lot of people, not everybody did. But now this is where I can get myself in trouble.
Okay.
And I don't mind because a lot of people don't like me anyway. And a lot of people, and we are really strangely transparent on this radio program. I was turned off to a level about, by the level. I was turned off by the level of how much people took for granted Tom's success, to the point when I was a child, I wasn't really a Nebraska fan because it bothered me. It was like, man, it's just like there's this right, this God-given right that Nebraska is going to be a 9-win team. And if they and then if they're 9-3, there's sort of a pitchfork crowd sometimes, and it's not enough. And where I was coming from on that, and where I was always coming from is this. That just shows a blatant. Now this is where I got to really. I'm not being haughty. I just always felt like it showed a blatant disrespect for the sport. Like you think it's really easy to do what he's doing?
That was
You really, and that's why me and Connor Happer, and Connor doesn't mind me talking about this. Me and Connor really got sideways one time. You know what I'm going, right? Because Connor said, well, Nebraska, you should basically be able to roll out of bed and win 9 games. That was I think he said that during the Pelini era or about the Pelini era.
Okay.
And I had a really, really hard time with that. Like, you really think that? You think it's that easy?
Why?
Yeah, why?
What makes you believe that? Do we have a lot of in-state talent here?
Now, the easy way to spin this conversation in a positive direction is what Tom did was remarkable. That he never had a season under 9 wins and ultimately won 5 national championships. 3 national championships, but called plays for 5 national championship teams. Think about that. Tom called plays for 5 national championship teams on offense. But yeah, what he did here, yes, it was absolutely taken for granted by a lot of people. But now I think we do recognize how remarkable. I think we better recognize it now. We recognize it more now, right?
Yeah, and I wonder if Tom, he obviously maybe thought this would never be as good as it was when he was here as the head coach. He probably knew he was a great coach, but could he ever have envisioned where it has gone to?
Oh, I think so. I think he could have envisioned it because he was part of the college game where he played teams that struggled at a high level for years, right? Yeah, I'm not speaking for Tom, and I've never asked him that question, but we've talked about Nebraska's struggles, and he doesn't express amazement. It's very matter of fact the way he talks about it, like he talks about most things, right? Just very matter of fact. But no, he doesn't. I've never felt like he discussed it with the tone of amazement, and he shouldn't. I mean, what's happened isn't all that. In some ways, it's not really that amazing. It happens. It's competition. There's no guarantees. There's a beauty in that. Now what I regard this period in some ways in a positive manner, because now we know as a fan base beyond a shadow of a doubt that there's no guarantees, that nobody will ever say at Nebraska, oh, you can just wake up, roll out of bed and win 9 games. That was disparaging towards Pelini.
It was. You're right.
It was.
You are absolutely right.
Yeah, it was very disparaging towards Bo. And I think maybe that's probably why it struck the wrong chord with me. Oh, you can just roll out. You should be able to just roll out of bed.
You said Bo's just doing what he should be doing.
Yeah,
here.
exactly.
Nothing is no
exactly.
impressiveness.
Now there are people, though, that agree with that. Glenn Mason, I had a subsequent interview with Glenn Mason, the former Minnesota coach, BTN, and I mentioned that to him, that one of the radio guys said that. And you know what Glenn Mason said? That guy's right. At Nebraska, you should be able to. And Glenn's just wrong on that. I was just surprised he said that. And I don't know if he has an axe to grind, some sort of axe to grind with Nebraska. I don't know, but I mean, Nebraska hammered him quite a bit probably when he was at Kansas, when maybe he was maybe at Minnesota. I don't know. I don't know what his deal was, why he said that, but I told him, I said, that's just a terrible thing to say. I mean, it's disrespectful, but mainly
it's hard to win 9 games.
It's disrespectful to the sport of football. It's disrespectful for the notion of competition, just to say, oh, you should automatically win 9. Did you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I just think if you win 9 games, you are typically going to either make the conference title or be right there in the conversation, which again, Nebraska was for a very, very, very long time, every year contending or doing that. Right?
Yeah. And this is not just a Tom Osborne conversation, because his staff deserves a lot of the credit too. And Tom would tell you that it's generally Tom and his staff and his support staff. Okay. And there's a lot of people involved in that. Boyd Epley's involved in that, right? He's very involved in that.
Well, he didn't have any turnover in the coaching staff, right?
Not a lot.
No, hardly ever.
Not a lot. Not a lot. He had some. Not a lot though. But there's a lot of people that are in that conversation that aren't coaches too.
Well, here we go. The milkman has chimed in on the text line.
I'd like to hear it.
He says, if you think you are a true blue blood, You should roll out of bed and win 9 games. You label yourself as a blue blood.
Oh, come on. I mean, there's too many examples. There's Milkman. Come on. There's a lot of examples of blue bloods that have fallen off.
Michigan is back, but they had issues. They were
back. I mean, kind of. I mean,
they were in the playoff. I mean,
yeah,
they won the conference.
Yeah, but
they're back to a certain extent.
I don't.
Texas
that's not
dead.
the first team I think of when I think of blue bloods. Michigan. That's what I'm
sure.
thinking.
Okay.
Oklahoma went through a bad period. John Blake, Gary Gibbs, Schnellenberger, bad period. USC, bad period. Texas, bad period. Notre Dame, bad period. Come on. These are blue bloods that went through bad periods. How many more? Penn State.
Did any of those schools miss 5 straight bowl games at all? I don't know. I mean, we're a little bit worse of a stretch than that. I mean, Texas has had a world of problems.
Yeah,
they have made some bowl games in the midst of this 10, 12 years of pain for them.
Yeah. Would you call Florida State a blue blood? Barely, but some would. We've had this discussion.
They're close.
But anyway, Milkman, Milkman, come on. We just rattled off a bunch of teams off the top of our head that are blue bloods that went through rough periods because there's no guarantees for even USC, for even Texas. How could Texas fall off?
They did.
I mean, think of that. LSU fell off, right?
Yep.
LSU fell off. I mean, come on. Alabama fell off. Alabama fell off after Bear Bryant.
Yeah.
How many more examples do you want?
The question though is now, can you fight back to become that 9-win program?
It's a lot easier to do it at places like Texas and Alabama.
Sure, that's the big question for Nebraska now. Is that possible? If you are a blue blood, it's going to take a lot to get back to 9 wins consistently. And I hope that again from this period, if we learn anything, to not take anything for granted ever again.
I hope so. I hope we learn.
Celebrate. We put down 9 wins, saying it's not good enough. But the first time it happens again, you better celebrate that and say, all right. It's good.
And I think it's always good to be sort of on edge that we could lose this. Get it?
Yes,
if it gets back to where Nebraska's, like Wisconsin, all right? Is that all right? If it gets back to where Nebraska's like Wisconsin, I hope we're always on edge, knowing this could all go south. Okay? I mean, I would if I was a Wisconsin fan, I wouldn't take what's going on for granted at all. I wouldn't. Would you?
Well, I hope not. They better not.
Yeah. Because it can all go south pretty quick. As we've learned. And once it does,
it's hard to get it back.
Yeah, it's really hard.
This is from unnamed texter says isn't SIP second in all-time wins? How are they not a blue blood?
Who's that?
That's an unnamed texter.
I know. Who's he talking about?
You said you weren't sure. Is Michigan a true?
Oh,
blue
Michigan.
Blood? Yeah, he says Michigan is.
No, Michigan is a blue blood for sure, but it's not the school I think of
the
first.
One you think of.
Not in this day and age. Wouldn't you say they got a lot of those wins a long time ago? Because Jake, I'm saying Michigan. Before last year, what have they been for years? Underachieving. Never could beat Ohio State.
Yeah.
Never won their division even. I mean. I stand by that. I stand by that.
The first few 9-win seasons when they get back will be celebrated, but after about 5 or 6 in a row, people will want more again.
Of course, but I don't think the feeling will be the same as it was in the 90s or the 80s, where it got rough for Tom a few times. People will remember, for instance, when they lost to Georgia Tech in a bowl game. I believe it was 90 or 91. When they lost to Georgia Tech, it was hot. He had to make changes. And it was not a good, I remember it. I remember that game vividly. Nebraska sort of gave up that day. It was a bowl game against Georgia Tech, and it was hot. And then there was a couple times where Tom thought about leaving. There's a couple times where he was almost had to leave. But thank God it didn't happen. Because what if that would have happened?
You wouldn't have had a 16-3 stretch.
You wouldn't have had
3 national titles.
You wouldn't have had 3 national titles. And then what? Now, I have said if this program hadn't come along, what would this city be? What would this university be? Now, I've said it'd be a truck stop on the way to Denver, which is probably going a little too far with that. But I don't know. I mean, what would it be?
If you go back to 70 and 71 being your only championships you
Yeah.
had?
We'd be the Minnesota Gophers.
Exactly. That's exactly what you'd be. You'd be, well, you had success 50 years ago, 50, almost 60 years ago.
Right.
Congrats.
Yeah. So and I always tell the young guys, you wouldn't be sitting here if it weren't for Osborne.
No.
I mean, there wouldn't be 13, 14 radio shows in the state of Nebraska, right? There wouldn't be.
No, that's why. Yeah,
the fever took hold, and it doesn't go away. It just doesn't magically disappear. Right?
Yes.
I wouldn't have the job I've had for 30 years if it weren't for Osborne. Jake?
Cannot deny that.
We owe him a lot.
Yeah, we do.
We owe him a lot.
We owe him a ton. And today's his birthday. So happy birthday, Tom.
85.
85 years old.
Thank
Tom.
you.
Never take what he did for granted, ever.
Ever.
Thank
you, Jake.
Ever. Parker Gabriel is up next on Early Break on the Ticket.
Bagels & Joe is ready for winter with white chocolate raspberry cream cheese, great on any bagel. And try a grilled Italian panini for lunch with ham, prosciutto, banana peppers, and provolone on a sun-dried tomato bagel. Bagels & Joe, 4 Lincoln locations.
Acres Equipment, Nebraska's premier John Deere dealer. We support farmers, ranchers, landowners, local governments, contractors, and more. Largest inventory around, and we deliver. Precision Ag Specialists, creating the highest yields. Mobile technicians covering the state. And we're there for the home team on game day. Acres, solutions for every field.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your KFXL Fox Nebraska weather. Another cold one expected for Wednesday with a high of 15, along with a mix of sun and clouds. A 40% chance for snow comes in Wednesday night with a low right around 1 below. Snow becomes likely on Thursday with a high right around 14, along with mostly cloudy skies. I'm meteorologist Regina Bird for 93.7 The Ticket and ticketfm.com.
Listening to this Allstate commercial about savings might be the hardest thing about getting those savings. Save for simply becoming an Allstate customer. Save more for adding DriveWise. And save even more for driving safely. Visit allstate.com or contact your local agent for a quote today. Allstate. Minimum effort, maximum reward.
Not available in every state. New customer savings based on early signing discount. DriveWise is an optional feature. Savings vary based on how you buy. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
At Mountain Dew, we support the best and baddest disaster relief group in America, Team Rubicon. To show our support of Team Rubicon, Mountain Dew put in $1 million. And now you can help Team Rubicon too. Look for specially marked Team Rubicon bottles of Mountain Dew, Diet Mountain Dew, and Mountain Dew Zero Sugar. Enter for a chance to win weekly prizes at MountainDewTR.com and donate to Team Rubicon. You'll earn exclusive rewards when you do. No purchase necessary. U.S. residents 18 and older. Subject to rules at MountainDewTR.com. Ends 10/3/2020.
Hi, welcome to Big Chain Bar and Grill. Can I get you a drink? Which game are you hoping to see? Doesn't matter. I don't know what channel the game's on anyway. Are you ready to order? Okay, here's a check. Come back and see us again, okay? What? Hey, welcome back into Upside.
Slow down and enjoy the game at the Upside Bar and Lounge. Comfortable seating, plenty of screens, a great food and drink menu, and no one trying to shove you out the door. Come in, hang out, and take it all in at the Upside Bar and Lounge, open daily just east of 27th and Pine Lake.
There's not many things worse than having plumbing issues at your home or business, but it's even worse if the problem isn't fixed correctly. Select Plumbing gets it right the first time, and they specialize in several things: general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. Plus, they're hiring service plumbers. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
There's no better way to spark a child's imagination than to get lost in the adventure of a good book. I'm Jenny Benson, president of NSEA. Working together, parents and teachers can help every child succeed. You can help by reading to your child and let your child read to you. Encourage reading in your home and make it a priority. Make reading fun and a time that you and your child look forward to spending together.
sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and the station.
Tune in to the Teammates Mentoring Hour each Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket. Hear stories from the program started by Tom and Nancy Osborne and how it's changed mentors and mentees' lives and how you can be involved. The Teammates Mentoring Hour, Wednesday nights from 6 to 7 o'clock on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're on the air.
Back
Well, party's starting early today, isn't it?
to more of Early Break with Sip and Jay, brought to you by Gaina Trucking. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It is time for part 2 of Double Barrel Wednesday with your colleague, the Journal Star's Parker Gabriel, but not before giving his proper introduction today. Let's do it right now.
Double Barrel Wednesday. It's a Double Barrel Wednesday.
Double Barrel Wednesday had some pop. It's very good job by Parker on Double Barrel Wednesday.
You guys know what day it is? It's Double Barrel Wednesday.
And we are now joined by your colleague, the Journal Star's Parker Gabriel. Parker, good morning. Spring football just 5 days away, but the news yesterday was for 2023 and a new verbal commit from William Watson III. He is a quarterback from Massachusetts, a 3-star quarterback. What is the scoop that you know about William Watson III, what Nebraska is getting at least right now from his verbal commitment?
Yeah, good morning, guys. So William Watson is an interesting story, and I think the biggest piece of the puzzle here is that he's known Mark Whipple for a long time, back to middle school. Whipple offered William Watson a scholarship when Watson was in 8th grade. It was Whipple's last year at UMass as the head coach, and actually the guy who was the coach at Springfield Central, where William Watson played, is now the defensive line coach at UMass, went to UMass, played for Whipple at UMass. So there's a lot of connections there. Those two have known each other for a long time. And when Whipple was at Pitt, Watson had an offer there. And then when Whipple got here, William Watson came to Lincoln for one of those junior days in January, liked what he saw, they offered him, and here we are. So it's a very interesting development. Quarterback recruiting always is like that, and William Watson is the guy for the 2023 class.
Parker Gabriel joins us, football beat writer for Lincoln Journal Star. What do you mean when you say quarterback recruiting is like that?
That it's always interesting.
Okay.
And it's actually, I think it's funny. I think there's a little bit less of a jolt for a high school quarterback commit. Now, it's nothing to take anything away from William Watson. I think if it was a 5-star All-American, of course, there would be juice in it, but there's a little bit less maybe just in general now because of the transfer portal and the rate at which kids move around and the way that quarterback recruiting has changed. And also the fact that Nebraska has brought in 3 new quarterbacks in the last couple of months. But even still, I mean, William Watson is, a guy who Mark Whipple has had his eyes on for a long time. Not all that dissimilar to Chubba Purdy, honestly. William Watson, obviously, a couple of years younger. But yeah, it's an interesting development, and it's hard to say exactly what that quarterback room will look like, 10 months from now when William Watson puts pen to paper. But obviously, he's got a really strong relationship with Mark Whipple.
Parker, in what ways is this commitment informative about Whipple to you?
Well, I think it's another piece of the puzzle as you put together what he's like and what he looks for too. I think in terms of, Whipple himself, the guy, he clearly knows what he wants, right? I mean, like he was after Chubba Purdy when he was at Pitt, and Purdy ended up going to Florida State. Then when Purdy went in the portal, he was recruiting him again. And when he got to Nebraska, he was recruiting him again. So he clearly, that wasn't just hey, I think Chubba Purdy can play for me at Pitt. It was, he could play for me anywhere. And that's so you get the same sense with William Watson in terms of, hey, it's obviously different being the head coach at UMass to the OC at Pitt to the OC at Nebraska. But the coach believes in the kid and has continued recruiting him no matter where he's been.
Parker Gabriel joins us. You saw the presentation of Mark Whipple at the Lincoln Coaches Association gathering last week. I think what was striking about it to you, Whipple's presentation?
What was striking to me about it, Sipple, was how struck you were by it. Mostly.
I thought it was very impressive.
It's funny because when Whip first got hired, one of the first stories I wrote about him was actually talking to Javon DeWitt, who at the time was at North Carolina, obviously coached here, and then Mike Eckler, who obviously also coached here, now is at Tennessee, because those guys both faced Whipple last fall, and I just talked to him about what they thought about him, what makes him difficult to defend, all of that, and both of them, the thing that both of them really sort of like couldn't move off of in our conversation was this idea of players instead of plays.
Okay.
And both of them use the term, he's just going to force feed his best guy or best guys the ball.
Right.
And that was much of what the presentation last week was about, right? I mean, it was essentially a little bit of coaching philosophy and then a bunch of clips of 40 different ways to get Jordan Addison, who, won the Biletnikoff Award as the best wide receiver in college football last year, the ball. And also what it takes to be that guy for Mark Whipple in his offense. And so to me, the thing that the takeaway, one of the big takeaways from that for me was that this is exactly what those coaches who coached against him told me was sort of his ethos. Find the guy who you think is the best matchup, get him the ball, and don't stop getting him the ball. But then also, if you extrapolate that to Nebraska, that it's going to be pretty darn interesting to see who they identify as the candidates to be that guy.
And you would also say, I know I feel like you're at a witness stand, you would also say that Scott Frost's offense doesn't necessarily have that sort of mindset. He spreads it around, right? Frost always has done that.
Yeah, I think, one of the things that Frost said early in his tenure, and we've seen flashes of it, but part of the reason why we're talking about Mark Whipple is probably because we didn't see it often enough. I mean, one of Frost's things, I remember once he said, the idea on offense is to have playmakers every spot so that no matter what the defense tilts to or wants to do, you've got an option off of it if you're dangerous at all three receiver spots and tight end and running back and quarterback. So, Whipple would love to have playmakers at every spot and have a bunch of options. But yeah, he's Whipple has had a guy who just puts up absolutely gaudy numbers pretty much everywhere he's gone. It's been Addison, especially last year, but he even sort of emerged as that guy by the end of his freshman year. He's had Andy Isabella at UMass. He had Brenneman, the big tight end at UMass. He has occasionally had a running back who's that guy. But everywhere he's gone, somebody has had big numbers that follow. And, I think you could look at Nebraska and say, well, under Scott Frost, like Stanley Morgan had big numbers. JD had big numbers. Wandale had big numbers.
True.
Last year,
Good
Samari
point.
Toure had 898 yards, and that was sort of an outsized part of the offense, he and Austin Allen. So,
Good point.
It's not, there's been times like that. Wandale was obviously a guy who they wanted to feature and get the ball to. They just didn't do it exclusively from the slot, like they did with the frequency that they targeted Samari Toure last year. So, there's always similarities. If you got a great player, you want to get him the ball. But I think you'll see more fervor and more discipline, just in terms of like, this is what we do. This is the guy, we're going to pump the ball to.
Defensively, Parker, as you're trying to add a pass rusher, I'm curious your belief right now in Nebraska's chances to get O'Shawn Mathis, who has listed 5 finalists at USC, Texas, Ole Miss, Penn State, and Nebraska. That was as of a week ago. When do you think he might make a commitment, and how strong do you feel about Nebraska's chances still to maybe get this pass rusher, O'Shawn Mathis, from TCU?
I thought you were going to ask if there were any more blue bloods that could be in his top 5, and maybe whether Michigan would have qualified. As
hello.
I mean, Nebraska's working on it. I mean, they're recruiting him hard. I think, there's obviously limitations on what the staff can do at this point with a dead period in place and all of that. But, the thing about anybody who's in the portal now, I saw actually Ole Miss just got a commit from Kari Rogers, who's an edge from TCU, O'Shawn Mathis' teammate yesterday, I think. That's all well and good, to commit now, and maybe O'Shawn Mathis will take a couple of visits in March and then commit somewhere. But it can't be official until May, basically. So, like, if O'Shawn Mathis took a visit to Lincoln in March and committed after that, people would celebrate. We'd write about it, all of that. And Nebraska's coaches would continue recruiting him very hard until he showed up on campus in late May when the spring semester ends. So that's kind of the deal there. With the ability to take official visits and come back to campuses beginning again in, like a week, I would think that maybe there'd be some visits on the table for a guy like that, when that's available to him. But I have not talked to him personally, so we'll sort of have to see how that plays out here over the next couple of weeks. And then, you could be talking about a decision timeline anywhere from mid-March through mid-May, basically.
Sweet.
All right, Parker, always good stuff. Thank you for the time. We will chat with you again next week.
I think in honor of Tom Osborne turning 85, I think it would be interesting if, like, instead of like just being quite so curt about being shut up Sipple, if you found sort of like the Osborne way to say, like, well, Sipple, you talk more than I remember you talking. That hasn't. Oh, maybe that just hasn't changed. So that would be, I think it'd be interesting if you just found the more like polite but still sharp way to say shut up.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Tom would be more diplomatic than you.
Yeah, he would.
He'd be more diplomatic.
So, all right, good stuff. Parker, Gabriel,
I've never heard. Tom's never said "shut up, Sipple" to me.
Would you be stopped in your tracks if you did?
Yes.
Like, what?
Yes, I would.
Did you fall down?
Yeah. If he said "shut the hell up." Yes, it would be very off-putting. It would affect me.
Then.
It would affect me.
Well, I'm done here.
Okay, let's play the game show.
Yeah, let's do that. 464.
Donuts here, by the way.
Yeah, and DP was enjoying one.
Yeah. Hey, DP, can I say something? DP gave me a great idea.
What do you do?
When there's when you saw what he did when he opened the box.
Yeah.
It was like
euphoria, right?
Yeah, it was like euphoria.
So happy.
I think donut shops should have boxes that when you open them, they play like a song, like a
yeah. With a beacon of light.
Yes, something like that. Yeah, something that announces, oh my God, you just opened a box of donuts. This is a big moment in your day.
Yeah.
And it could be a big moment in your week.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Something that says this is a big moment in your week.
Well, maybe we can do that for bagels also.
Yeah.
Do that right now.
Yes.
Hey, maybe they can do it. 464-5685. Call the Takedown Sip in trivia. Today is a wild card Wednesday. And this is very wild card, you Sip. I'm doing U.S. metro areas. That's cities.
What are we doing here?
There are no steals today. You'll understand why when we start playing. There is no steals today.
Okay.
It's just your question only. 464-5685. Shut up, Sipple starts right now.
We've all been there. You're listening to the radio, and then that rage starts to grow inside of you. It starts to consume you. It gets to a point where you just want to yell, "Shut up, Sipple!" No, sorry. I'm sorry. Well, here's your chance. It's time to shut up, Sipple. Call now to play. 464-5685. Shut up, Sipple. Brought to you by Bagels and Joe.
If you are a person that is nervous about answering questions on the spot because you like options, this is your day. Because I'm giving you two options. That's it. There's no stealing. I'm giving you the choice between two cities. Which one's bigger of these two?
Okay.
How about that? Very
That's
simple.
great.
It's a 50-50 chance.
Interesting.
We haven't done this for a
I'll
long
be good
time.
at this.
You get two
Yeah.
chances.
Hey, Harrison, I'm almost guaranteeing a W here.
This is a 50-50 chance. You don't have to put out any sort of random guess. I give you both the cities. You tell me which one you think's bigger.
God, Jake, I'm 7 games under right now.
You're 0-2 on the week also.
55-62. Thank you, Harrison, for the grease board record. 55-62 is the record. God, I'm out of the playoffs.
Yeah, you are. You're out of control.
I'm like Fred.
Yeah, he's been out of control.
I got to quit criticizing Fred.
Yeah, because you're just bad. Kevin, how do you feel about U.S. metro populations?
Oh, very good, very good. Is it largest? It's largest metro area,
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
Not
Yep,
city?
it's the metro. It's the
Okay.
metro area. That is, yeah,
Got it.
It is the city
Kevin's
and it's the
confident.
metro. That's right. So again, you understand how this goes. I'm going to give you 2 cities. You tell me which one is bigger. And
Yeah,
this-
thank
you
you.
can't steal. This is just your question. All right, Kevin. First question goes to you. This is as of the most recent census I saw. Okay. Which city with its metro is bigger, San Diego or St. Louis?
Oh, God.
This is to Kevin.
San Diego.
Yeah, come on. That's a gimme.
It's not. It's that'd be 3.2 mil versus 2.8 mil. It's closer than
Okay.
you think.
Yeah,
maybe.
close. I think. Hey, Kevin, good job. Good job.
1-0 lead for Kevin. All right, Sip for the tie. Your first question: which city with its metro is bigger, Atlanta or Boston?
Oh, okay. That's pretty difficult. Hotlanta.
Actually, quite a bit. 6 million versus 4.9 million for Boston's metro.
Jeez. No, wait a second. Atlanta, 6?
It's a million plus, but yeah, with the metro.
6 mil?
That's right.
Holy God.
All right, Kevin.
Just that? That's why there's so many players
A
down
lot of
there.
athletes down there.
Yeah.
Okay, Kevin, for the lead, your last
We're
question.
geniuses on this show. We put that together. That's why there's so many athletes.
It's incredible what we can do.
Yeah, well,
Kevin, which city with its metro is bigger, Tampa or Minneapolis?
Ooh.
it's a good show, Jake. It's a good game.
Tampa.
Minneapolis.
I'll go for the steal.
You cannot steal. Minneapolis is at 3.6 million with the metro. Tampa's at 3.1 million.
This is fun.
All right, 50-50
How come
chance.
I'm surprised we've never done this before.
Well, wild card Wednesday, man. You never
Yeah,
know.
you're pretty inventive.
Okay, Sip, for the win to get your first win of the week, or else we're going to the
This is
tiebreak.
big. This is big.
Which city with its metro is bigger, San Antonio or Baltimore?
Oh my God. Oh. I've been to San Antonio several times. It's a growing city. I hope to God that it's San Antonio.
Baltimore 2.8 mil, San Antonio 2.5.
Oh,
mil.
that's unfair.
And this goes.
I want
to
I want you to count the people.
Yeah, okay, I will. This goes to you, Sip, and then Kevin will go over under your number. Sip, tiebreaker. As of 2020, what was the population of New York City with its metro? Biggest city in the States. New York City plus its metro, though. New York City metro.
I'll go 19.4 million.
Okay. Kevin, over, under?
Under.
You're going
Under.
under 19.4? How about 20.1 million? Sip, you won the game show today. You're off the schneid. First win of the week. Kevin, thanks for calling in. We'll get your bagel and a coffee, but call in down the road.
Great job, Sip.
Thank you, Kevin. Great job yourself.
you,
That was a
Kevin.
well-played game. And a very well-constructed game by you, Jake.
Well, I want to make sure they're all pretty close.
Yeah. Now, how did I know that? Because I think when I was in Chicago, somebody, the Uber driver told me, I think he said 13 million in the Chicago Metro.
I don't know. I got LA at second at 13.2.
Okay, and then Chicago maybe it's not
Chicago's
that
less
much.
than that. It's
Yeah.
probably like in the nines.
Yeah. Okay. Well, whatever. I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I want to quit while I'm ahead here.
And you won,
I am
you won
ahead.
the game, so congratulations.
I'm losing my voice. You notice that?
Well, just hold on for about a few more minutes. You'll be fine.
I'm working too hard.
Maybe you should drink some nice warm tea or something.
I knew you were going to say
hot tea. You got coffee over there?
You always say that about the boys.
Hot tea.
Drink some nice warm tea.
That's what my wife
some
tells
honey.
me. And she gives me the hot tea and the honey. It helps. The spillover with DP and J is next on Early Break on the Ticket.
Southeast Community College has learning centers in Falls City, Hebron, Nebraska City, Plattsmouth, Wahoo, and York so that you can take credit and non-credit classes at a center nearby without having to travel an hour or more to campus. By taking online classes and those at a learning center, you can earn your degree from SEC where and when it's convenient for you, all at a cost that won't stand in the way of your education. Learn more about SCC's learning centers at southeast.edu/learning centers. SCC, your path to possible.
Listening to this Allstate commercial about savings might be the hardest thing about getting those savings. Save for simply becoming an Allstate customer. Save more for adding DriveWise. And save even more for driving safely. Visit allstate.com or contact your local agent for a quote today. Allstate. Minimum effort, maximum reward.
Not available in every state. New customer savings based on early signing discount. Drive-bys is an optional feature. Savings vary based on how you buy. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
You knew the risks when you decided to drive drunk. There could be a crash. People could get hurt or killed. But that didn't stop you, did it? You knew you could get arrested. You could incur huge legal expenses, and you could possibly even lose your job. You were well aware of the consequences of driving drunk. But one thing's for sure, you were wrong when you said it was no big deal. Drive sober or get pulled over. This message brought to you by NHTSA.
Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers is all about the good and creating more of it. More drive-through celebrations, more weekend traditions, more family dinners and lunches, more car picnics and road trips, more desserts, maybe more second desserts. More celebrating being together as much as we can. There's always room for more good and more Freddy's. Keep the good going with a taste that brings you back.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Security First Bank. We're the bank, and we make your mortgage more manageable with flexible terms, trusted advice, and competitive rates. When you work with us, we'll know your name, but we'll also get to know your home dreams too. Security First Bank of Lincoln. Voted Best Small Bank in Nebraska by Newsweek magazine. Member FDIC. Equal Housing Lender. NMLS number 505011.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric ensures our home and office HVAC systems run smoothly throughout the year to provide maximum comfort and convenience. Routine maintenance reduced our operating costs just by improving the efficiency of our unit. Consider a maintenance agreement to ensure you too receive priority for services and scheduling. This helps meet manufacturer warranty requirements. Action delivers honest quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill has 2 Lincoln locations that are great for any occasion. If you're downtown for a basketball game or a concert, stop by their newest spot at 10th and P. Don't forget to check out their social media pages to learn about any concerts on stage at Rosie's. If you want to avoid a busy downtown scene, head over to the original Rosie's just south of 14th and Highway 2 for a feeling of your local hometown bar. There's plenty of TVs at both places and great food and drink. What are you waiting for? Rosie Sports Bar and Grill at 10th and P and on South 14th Street.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. This
Well, good morning, little brother.
is Early Break with Sip and Jake, brought to you by Gaina Trucking. Weekday mornings from 6 to 8 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Yes, sir. Oh, there's the Hooters for it right there. And we dance. It is
Yes,
the spillover.
sir.
There's DP. There's Jay Foreman. DP's in a great mood. He's had a donut over there. We saw it.
He's breaking all the rules.
We got to get him in
right
a great. We got to get him in a great mood.
I'm breaking all the rules today.
What rules?
Donuts for breakfast.
That's not a bad.
That's
thing.
not a rule.
Breakfast and
You
coffee.
just need coffee with the
And
donuts.
caffeine, caffeinated coffee, no less.
That's right.
I went big
Watch
boy.
out, Lincoln. We got the honorary policeman. You guys are in trouble.
Set it
You be the
on.
first one I pull
The
over,
honorary
Jake.
po- is that
and I would
right?
jack you
Me?
up like a mug.
Why would you jack?
Let me get your license and registration, sir. Step out the car in the below zero
Let me see
coldness.
Let me see them hands.
Yeah.
Jake Soros.
Jake, here's a big Jake. Are you going to partake in the 420 Snoop Dogg concert down there? Because I'm going to be there in full of. I cannot
going?
wait. Oh my
You want to
god!
go? You want to go together? I'll go.
That's what I'm asking. This is your I'm inviting you on air.
I didn't even get an invite. Jake Soros.
I'll go to the concert.
He's our
Yeah, I'll
DP's
go.
already in. I'm gonna get Sipple.
DP's
So I'm
good.
Snoop. Sipple's Willie Nelson. We're gonna see. We're gonna have a smoke off. See what's up.
There's gonna be
Wow.
a car in the parking lot somewhere just
Just
billowing.
blazing.
Just billowing.
I'm gonna airlock the
Oh, no.
windows in my car, and we're just gonna just have a nice little 30-minute
Pass
session.
out.
Yeah.
And I don't even indulge. So I'm just gonna
Yeah.
be there with the
the
bounce
contact.
back, right?
Yeah.
Total contact buzzery.
This is hilarious.
Jake,
Oh yeah, we'll go. We'll go. We'll
No,
go
no.
to
You
Snoop.
know the scene from Stir Crazy where
Yeah.
they walk into the jail? That would be Sip and Jake.
Yep.
I think Jake would be awesome, all mellowed out.
You better get
Yeah.
you better get cool.
Right, Jake,
Jake mellowed out would be really funny. I think.
have him do the show a little bit hours, like a midnight show.
Just
After that.
pre-record.
Yeah, we can do that. Hey,
Pre-recorded.
man, how's it going?
Yeah.
How we doing? Like, yeah,
He
how we
sounds
doing?
like Harrison.
We're gonna have you do that, then you would have you go back and do your takes on the basketball team after the game last night.
Yeah.
You should have heard Jake in the opening hour, man. He
I just wonder how.
he said we're idiots in a box.
Dang, Jake.
Speak for yourself.
Dang, Jake.
Put me-
Jake.
Don't you put that on me, Ricky
Are
Bobby.
you fragile? Dang. I always wonder what the
What is
with
it,
the
Jay?
with the basketball team last night were. Again, another slow start, but then kind of showed some life coming into halftime because you
Yeah, they were
easily
down
could-
6 to Northwestern.
right.
That was wonderful.
And then it's just
victory.
automatic with like after 4 minutes in the first the first 4 minutes in the second half.
Yeah.
You're down by 20.
Yeah, the starts of second halves have been a problem.
Right.
They have. They start, but Nebraska is a strong starting team. They
Is
are.
it?
Yeah, starting games.
Decently.
Oh,
Yeah.
DP.
Decent. They're not as bad.
Yeah, they have.
They're not as bad
Yeah,
as
they
they
have.
come out of the second
Yeah,
half.
yeah.
So that's
No,
kind
they
of
have.
like
Had a lot of problems second half.
No, if you
Right.
look over the course of the season, they've gotten off to pretty good starts.
they
generally.
can't sustain.
And I
sustain
will
it.
tell you why that is, because Fred, I know I often well he's 1-15. My God, there's going to be criticism, but he does have his teams prepared from a schematic standpoint.
Some of the things
I
that they
maintain
do,
that.
some of the things they don't do on defense, that's not coaching. That's
Right.
just pure. That's pure laziness.
Right. I think they're prepared.
Yeah, they know what. I mean, some of the things. I mean, because the stuff that they're not doing, they wouldn't do, and they would have been doing in high school.
Yeah, it's ultimately on the head coach to
Right.
get it out of
Yeah.
them. But I think in terms of schematic preparation, going in scouting, what we need to do, I think Fred does a good job that way.
But where's the adjustments though? Would you
Well,
still
that's the
start?
thing.
Would you still roll out there with the same starting lineup?
Well,
If
they
you-
don't
if
have a
you-
lot of options.
Oh, they got options. The
they
French
do.
Connection could go in there.
You always call him the French Connection.
He's from France, right?
My friend Andre.
Why not?
Little limited offensively.
Okay, but
Well,
we're,
they
well,
all
hold
are.
on. Okay.
They all have issues.
Not all of them.
Okay.
Offensively.
You got to score the ball.
5
He's
minutes
got the
last
box.
night.
There's the box score.
Yeah, that lets you know.
You got to score the ball, Jay.
Okay. So were you at the last, not this game, but the last game?
I watched this game.
What about the last game?
Maryland game.
Watched it in totality.
Okay, so did you see an offensive explosion out of my man Lat Man last game? When I love me some Lat Man, but I'm just asking.
He's tough. Yeah.
Oh, here we
No,
go.
against Maryland.
Here we go.
No.
So there is no. So that's what I'm saying. Why not? You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But what
He's more versatile than Eduardo, though. I mean, Lot can go out on the floor and shoot. I mean, he gives you that.
Hey man,
So you're,
Oh my
Hey,
God!
Jake knows I like Lat.
Here we go.
Jake knows
I
I like
like.
Lat.
Oh, you like Lat Man?
Yeah.
I like him too.
He is a dude that does play hard. I mean, he's
Yeah.
got some dog in him.
Yes,
Eduardo
yes,
is
he
too. Though.
does.
Eduardo does
Yes,
too.
and so does Eduardo. And
Yeah.
Eduardo gives a little bit of a spark plug.
Yeah,
I
he
think
does.
he's so sometimes he can be so gangly, he kind of gets in the way and he gets a tip pass. All I'm saying, and it's not saying that Lat Man not being a, and it
You
might
can't
be.
hang everything on Lat Man.
I know, and I was just about to continue talking here. That you could even throw Lat Man or you can throw the French Connection in there, Lat Man, and keep my man D Walk.
Okay.
And then
Okay,
Trey,
yeah,
and
okay.
then Trey and Bryce. You could
Yeah.
have it. You can have a quote unquote skyscraper lineup,
Yep.
and it's not going to hurt
You
anything.
taking Verge out of there though?
I'll repeat the McGowan's brothers, Lat Man, the French Connection, and
Walker,
the Kansas City captain.
Yeah. So
That's
you're
what-
taking Verge out of the lineup.
I'm going to repeat again. Okay. I feel like I've had, I
That's
know
a
I've had
yes.
this conversation
That's a
DP,
yes.
with other people of the
I'm
other
asking
origin,
you, how do you take-
where you got to say, gee, when they, I know this happens, right? Well, hold on, right? We all have this. You say something. Can you repeat that? I'll say it again. You
waiting
need
for a certain
confirmation.
word. What?
Right.
Well,
or you
I
could
like-
do, or you could keep. I mean, all I'm saying is, the fastball is getting hit out of the stadium at an astronomical rate, right? So now it's time to maybe try to throw the curveball. That's all I'm saying.
Change up.
Knuckleball.
Right? The ephus.
This team needs the ephus pitch.
The ephus pitch.
Get an ephus.
Right? We got to start. We got to
Fair.
start having the little goo on top of our hats or something like that.
Little
But
clear seal.
Clearasil.
But
Did they use clear? Do people use Clearasil?
What is that?
Acne stuff?
What is that in Major League? What is that in Major League? Got a little here on the bill, little sinus,
Yeah.
a little bit here, a little
Speaking
bit
of-
behind the ear.
Speaking of sinuses, raise your hand if you believe Aaron Rodgers, his
Okay.
story about
Yeah.
his 2-week super colonic cleanse, and then would you do it for whatever
Jake.
reason?
Jake.
I mean, he just literally
How
got
deep
on
was his cleanse
He
here?
got on whatever show he was on and said, like, dude, I willingly had power diarrhea for 2 weeks.
I
And
would
this-
not do that.
That's what he was doing instead of deciding his future. He got on there and they's like, "What you been up to?" Well, for 2 weeks, I got.
Oh, he saw his future.
I know, right?
Like he knew.
He's like, and that's my. You know what? That's probably what set his ex fiance off. Like, look, okay,
You
enough
are
is enough.
weird, man. Power diarrhea.
You just signed up, and she, you know what it is? Probably like, you want to do this together. This is gonna make us come
Yeah.
to one before we get married. She's like, I'll play it. I got other options here.
Deuces.
I'm not doing power cleanse, you psycho.
The 3 days of drops in your
What did-
nostrils.
What did he do? What-
That's like torture.
Did you read the story, Jake?
A power cleanse.
Power
Basically.
cleanse?
Yeah, he said he was trying to clean himself out for
How
almost
long
2
does
full
it?
weeks.
How long?
2 weeks.
days.
He had 3 days of enemas.
Is
3.
Is he a weirdo?
He's strange.
Can I say that on the air?
He's very strange.
He's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah.
You know what
He's
I mean?
very talented, but he is a weirdo.
Can you do? Could we even do that and continue to do shows? Could we do a power cleanse?
You be wearing diapers.
You would.
You be
It
getting
would
a
smell-
sponsorship from Depends.
It would smell very bad in his studio right here.
Right?
DP would not be working here. I'm working.
Hey,
from home this
every
week.
break you would be in there. It'd be long. It'd be long, like little
We do have two
reads.
rats.
We couldn't both do a power cleanse, Jake. Well, no, one of us got to be in
We
here.
got
You got to change each week. It's disrespectful
We should
to
do a
even
power.
call it a cleanse. What he was doing.
You can zoom from anywhere.
Why?
Because what
Why?
he was, because he just said. I mean, he literally like. Jake can pull it up.
I'm pulling up right now.
It's not even a cleanse, because a cleanse is what you would get at, juice cleanse.
Yeah.
Shout out to former Husker,
Jason
great
Pete.
Jason Peter. That's like a real cleanse, right?
Okay.
What he did
Yeah, what's he do?
was like torture.
Yeah,
Your
can't even-
insides.
I can't even.
Oh, here we go. Yeah,
I
this
can't
is
even
bad.
like simulate it with my hands because it's inappropriate on
Right.
video.
But why would you even? But my whole thing is like, okay, just say you did it, right? Say that's your thing. You want. Clean out your body, and
Okay.
that's the ultimate sacrifice, I guess, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna fall on a grenade, fall all the way out.
I'd rather eat avocado ice cream
You
and the TB12
Yeah.
than 2 weeks of.
I got to get
Hey,
with it.
The cleanse was called the Panchakarma cleanse. It's out of India. Is
Okay,
the
cool.
cleanse?
Cool.
It was 12 days.
12 days. My bad.
12 days.
He took 48 hours off.
It's a 5-step detox process that cleanses the body of all unwanted waste of the body. Many have reported that the cleanse heals the digestive system, enhances immunity, produces deep relaxation, and a meditative outlook on life, among other things. The cleanse includes 3 days.
This can't be real.
No. Yeah. The 5
Go ahead.
The 5 step DP. The 5 steps of the cleanse are this. It's called VAMIN, I believe. It is administration of emetic drugs that induce a severe spell of vomiting to clean the upper gut.
That part. Okay.
It ain't over yet.
Just drink a couple bottles of vodka. You'll be okay, right?
Then Virashan is forced diarrhea that purges and cleanses the bowel. That's part 2. Part 3 is Basti, medicated enema used to cleanse the accumulated toxins throughout the colon. Nasia is a nasal administration of medicated oil to cleanse the accumulated toxin. And Raktamakshana is a procedure done to cleanse the blood. 5 steps.
You'd have to take 2 weeks off.
There is one
You
day
only got
of
4.
therapeutic vomiting in this 12-day cleanse. You ever heard of that?
Whoa.
A full day of therapeutic vomiting.
Well, this
Wouldn't you just be better off just going to see them the Dalai Lama or something? Right?
DP looks like
Wouldn't it be
he's
good?
stuck.
Wouldn't it
Look
be
at
better? Wouldn't it be better to go buy like a G.I. Joe doll and start praying to him or something in the corner, dress him up like whatever? I mean, you up here having 3 days of forced. I mean, enema.
You know the movie Dirty Rotten Scoundrels? With Steve Martin
I have seen that
and Michael Caine. And there's a scene where he plays Rupert.
Yes.
And he sits at the table and he plays like he's a little bit away. And he goes, "Excuse me, may I go to the bathroom now?" And they go, "Sure." And he make the face that he makes. That's the face Aaron Rodgers made for 2 weeks. Like, he's just like,
wow.
No, then he said, "I'm gonna take 2 days off. I'm gonna fly back to California, and then I'm gonna announce to everybody what I'm doing." And then he must have had a deep meditation because he did his I guess farewell to his team. So
yeah,
and his girl.
All
What do you
in
mean?
one.
What do you mean?
He was getting
They broke
married,
up.
and then they broke up.
Oh, that
broke off the
actress?
engagement with
Yeah.
Shailene Woodley. They broke
She
off
would
the
not
engagement.
participate in the 5 steps of pink chump karma or
Pink
whatever
karma
cleanse.
cleanse.
She's like, "I'm out of here, dude.
She said, "No."
I don't know. I got."
Shailene Woodley and him are on the outs now?
Yeah, it's like that part
But
of
they
me
said,
don't belong to
and-
you.
but
yet,
they said
sir.
that. But here's the funny part: in the interview,
Can't do
in the interview, they said she was in the background. So who knows? You know, like in the background.
But she was packing though.
Yeah, that's true.
She was packing.
She
her
smelled
stuff.
like it. She was packing.
I can't find the hair dryer, honey.
Hey,
Did you use
DP,
that in your Kama Sutra?
You know what you know about Karma Sutra?
I don't know.
No,
anything.
ladies and gentlemen, when you see Steve Civil, he got that Karma Sutra, 7 days of ecstasy.
Hey, you gotta walk
I knew you had it in your sip. I hear you. You know, yeah.
Anyway, Rogers.
Hey, check-
Rogers.
Now, in all seriousness, so
Rogers.
back to the game last night.
All right, yeah, let's go back to
They,
that.
they, now
enema.
they interviewed Colin.
Let's go back to that enema.
That was a forced enema, right?
yeah.
It was a slow enema. But Colin said after the game that their big deal is they wanted to stop our guards off the bounce.
Okay.
In particular, Bryce and Trey, and obviously Verge. You know, as a, I guess curveball to combat that with the way that they were hitting threes. In your guys' opinion, you too, Jake.
Yes.
Do you think, and they've had a little bit of success of a 3-2 zone this year, kind of, or like when they did like a kind of 1-3-1 trap. Do you think that's something they could have done defensively to offset the 3-point shooting? And then offensively, DP, this is what particularly what would you have done not knowing, and just assuming, because when you go into a game, I'm going to assume as a coach that like, okay, we killed them. We've been killing people off the dribble with
Nebraska has been killing people
Verge, and then Bryce.
Yeah, Bryce and Verge
right,
mainly.
Last like 6, 7, 8, whatever, 10 games. What would you do to offset that? Because you're going into the game plan assuming that's what they're going to try to do because they know that actually you could give them problems.
So you're asking me from a Nebraska standpoint?
Yeah,
what
if you know, say I'm Northwestern, and you're just going to assume, right, that I'm going to try to stop your main cog, right, or cogs off the bounce. What would you do to offset that?
I'd go small in space. I'd spread you out. I'd spread you out so my guys off the dribble have more space. It's tougher to defend and it's tougher to help off of space. The old adage that offense is space is offense. So you can't keep me out of the middle if I've got 3 different options every time I catch the ball. I can go left, right. I can step back and shoot the J. Your biggest fear is I'm gonna go by you. Space puts you under duress. Okay. Nebraska spacing is quite frankly bad.
You think?
Well, because other teams have made have set up the rule that says I'm not allowed. So Strick and I were talking about it last night in the postgame show. Against teams like Nebraska, the rule would be defend front of the rim first. Anything paint, nothing. So you allow nothing into the paint. You force everything baseline side, and then defending 3 if they're making it. But they haven't been making 3s. So then I need to force you not only into mid-range game, but mid-range off the paint game. So Bryce is really good getting to the paint just inside the free throw line and hitting that run-up. So is Verge.
Yeah, they are.
Those 2 you need to keep out of that space. Everybody else, I want to force into that space because they're not good transitioning that space. Yeah. So let man off the dribble into paint is not good. No. Kobe is good at it, but Kobe is still tentative at it. CJ is probably the best at it, but he gets the fewest opportunities because they don't put him in the right place on the floor in order for CJ to catch on the wing, triple threat, pump fake, go by. And you've got to punish people when they help. So if they get in the paint, then you've got to punish them with a lob to Eduardo or a dish to Derek Walker or a kick to a legitimate shooter on the wing. And that should often be Trey McGowan's, who can hit the 3, can pump fake, can also go and punch you with a dunk at the finish. If you're not making people pay, then they could cheat on you. Teams cheat on you. So I could spread you out.
Mm-hmm.
I want this team to go small. Like,
right.
Go small and go big. That's how you should run. The intermediate thing is good for pacing. But if I want to get my ups and downs, I got to go small. I got to go small. I got to go 5 out. And 5 out is simply with your big pulling a big out of the space, out of the paint. They don't do that. Derek is a soft corner guy. Eduardo's a soft corner guy, which is just off the paint, away from the opposite of the ball on the baseline. And then he can come up and pick. He can come up, pick and dive. He can come up, pick and roll. But the biggest part of this is the pick and pop, where you need a big who they can roll the thing off of, and he can hit the free throw jumper. So
they don't really have that.
Right. So basic premises of what they should be using, they don't use. The extremes would work, but it means you've got to in-game manage possession by possession, which they don't want to do. No. They should do. They don't want to do. They don't want to do that. So
now the secondary question is getting up and down and going small. That means you got to actually D up though.
Well,
you can't get up and down and have gaping holes in your defense at the top of your defense like that, right?
Well, that's the gash. I've had small teams that were active defensively. What I want to do is create situations where their bigs will catch the ball freely, but in a space that they're not comfortable in, right? And if they've got a little dude under them or a smaller dude, it takes away their ability to catch. And like most bigs want to gather, put it on the floor. It makes the big catch and shoot guys rather than guys who can catch it.
Yeah.
Post, they'll do that Kobe Jordan back bend, and then get into space because they got to put it on the floor to a little dude who can dig and take it from.
Bigs against Nebraska get too comfortable.
Right. So let's have them get it in space. Right. You can go small and then pack the middle with your, because then you're making cross-court passes difficult. You're putting bigs in places where they're not comfortable, and then your wing guys have more traffic. You're creating more traffic defensively, and it's a little bit difficult. Teams do it to Nebraska. Nebraska doesn't do it to them.
My biggest criticism of Fred is the lack of emphasis on bigs in his roster construction in this league.
Well, he had 3 bigs. He has 3 bigs.
The where me and you disagree is Derek is 6'8". I mean, he's a good player. I like him. He's a good player, but I don't consider him a big. I consider 7 foot, 6'11" a big.
You can't.
That's in the Big Ten.
You can't grow 7-footers.
Yeah, because
look at the league.
Hold on. Indiana has.
Look at the top 6 of the top 7 scores in the league, they're bigs, and they're not 6'8".
What was so
Indiana has 6'8", 6'9".
Trace Jackson Davis is 6'9". He's a small big. He's a
Right.
small big.
I mean, there's a way to do it.
Yeah.
And then the
But I'm
other
talking about,
one is 6'8".
I'm talking about like Hunter Dickinson's a big. Kofi Coborn's a big. Zach Edey's a big.
Those guys are-
The Maryland players are both bigs. The guy they
Yeah.
brought off the bench, Reese, and their starter, DP.
They're
These are
6'10".
6'11".
Well, but that goes against the Nebraska theory, the
Right, it
Nebraska
does.
fan base, because they got their bigs like Maryland got their big from Georgetown. It means you got to go in the portal and get a big.
Right.
Well, we don't want to get a big because means we got to start over. We got to train. Blah, blah,
Well,
blah,
well,
blah. Well, Blaze Keatle, Blaze is
He's a
coming.
big.
Blaze is big. He's coming. Brian Bach comes back, gives you another big.
Goggles.
No, that's a big.
The goggles.
That's a big.
Okay.
So
6'10", yeah.
to get those people in space, and then you have to give them people who are willing to feed them constant. Look, last night,
Okay.
Eduardo Andre and Derek Walker took one combined shot. One combined shot. So listen, if you're not going to use them, don't play them. Like put somebody
You're
else
right.
out there.
Walker's 0 for 1.
Bro, you took.
And it wasn't like he wasn't working because
One
he had
shot.
listen here, he had 10 boards and he had 5 assists. So he was actually trying to be active.
Right. So, but that's the spacing thing.
But reward him.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
Reward him. There's got to be a
He's an
time.
efficient One player. Shot.
There's
Give him
got to
a
be a
chance.
time.
Well, it's tailed off a little bit. I think teams have they were running it through Derek, and it was working, and then teams adjusted, and they
Right.
had
then
Nebraska
you need to
had
then you
adjust.
need to adjust.
Well,
Yeah.
but that was the adjustment with
Readjust.
Derek giving you 5 assists because now he's looking for cutters and hard cutters.
Yeah,
which is a plus. The thing that they do better now than they did a month ago.
They do.
Right? They made a point to keep somebody in transition back on the boards. Bryce gave you 10 rebounds last night. That hasn't happened either. Right? So you make a concession. You said, I'm going to take away Boo Booey, who killed us first time. I'm going to win the rebound game. You have to make concessions to do those things. And then you say, okay, now can we execute the little things that we need to do? Derek gave you 5 assists when he could have taken those 5 shots.
He was the leading assist man.
Right. So you're making adjustments.
Yeah,
They're you're just not making enough adjustments on time to get wins. And that look, I
And
mean,
you
it's
need
not
to-
good.
yeah.
It's not good enough. The reality is not good enough, but he is adjusting because from the last time they faced Northwestern, there were 3 facets of the game that they adjusted and were successful in their adjustment. They just, it's like a hole in the dike. You put your finger in one and another one pops free. That's what's happening with this team.
Yeah. And the biggest hole that they haven't really truly patched up is on the defensive side of the playing
Don't
D.
defend well.
Because that's going to eliminate the 19-5 run. It might be 10-5 where your head's still above water. Then once you get the offense going, you get what I'm saying?
Oh, totally get it.
So I mean, your defense has to be your
It happens all the time,
lifeguard.
Yeah, and they don't
Right.
have that. They don't have a lifeguard. They don't.
It's
They
gotta
simply
be. You
don't.
gotta
They don't
pack-
have a gatekeeper.
Yeah.
What other teams have is a big, like when Bryce goes to the rack against anybody else in the Big Ten, there's a skyscraper or 2 there to clean up.
That's right. Exactly.
Nebraska doesn't have that.
Big,
And
that's the
that's-
Big Ten.
Essentially,
It's not like that in every
essentially,
league. The Big Ten, it's not. It's not.
Big Ten is a big,
It's a big
physical
league.
grown
Big
man's
physical league. It is. It's a different league than a lot.
Yeah,
of
but I mean, there's ways to attack that.
Sure there are.
But
One way to attack it is to have bigs that can attack it.
No, I'm going to spread you out and make that big defended space.
You can do both.
Like, no,
I'm a fan of the
look,
skyscraper.
see,
I'm a fan of the
DP
skyscraper lineup. That's just me.
I get it. Like, I get it.
You got to defend those guys,
pole up,
DP.
Jake.
DP, you
Put
got
the
to
pole
They
up,
got to
Jake.
defend me too.
I know.
This
lineup.
is not
French
half court
connection.
basketball.
I know
This
it's
is
not.
full court basketball.
That's
And
true.
if there's 2 bigs out there, you know what? I'm gonna turn it into a track meet. I really am.
I know. I hear you. There's one way to do
Like
it.
like
It
that's
is.
that's
but
That is one way, but you can't do any of that unless you start playing D.
Defending.
Okay, because we're not scoring at the rate to do that. If we were Loyola Marymount back then, when you got Hank Gathers and
Bo Kimball.
and you know you getting 30 and 30 and you can shoot the 3 and all that, you can do that. We're not hitting enough on 3s, and we're not efficient enough in transition. DP talked about spacing, right?
Hmm.
Yes, I played football, but I can watch basketball. I love basketball.
I know you.
But
do.
when you're running the court, when you're running a fast break, and just say the Roy Williams, they had the Carolina break or whatever. If you go back and watch the game, and sometimes it might be just how the rebound gets it, but when they run the court, number one, they need to run the court harder. That's my opinion. That's
Run
number
to
one.
the front of the rim.
Okay,
Man, they don't
okay.
get to the front
They
of the
have
rim.
4 guys on one side of the court, and the guy that has the basketball, that got the rebound or the outlet, is literally in the middle of the court on that side. So you're easy to defend. You actually can have 2 guys just hanging out
Defend
over
4
there.
people.
Defend 4. Now you got 3-on-1, right? So it's got to be, yeah, we might start on this side, but I got to haul, you know what, to the other corner. Then we got to get the guy with the ball, say at, I call it the black line on that side of the cylinder, then the other guy, and then you got the big guy, whoever it is, French connection. Heck, it could even be Trey or somebody that's the last secondary break to put the stress on the defense, because once you make them play defense, eventually they're going to have breakdowns. But when you're not making them play defense,
Right.
we're going to take a bad shot. So yes, in theory, we want to get out and run, but we got to run better. We got to do our running better, and we got to defend better, just from a schematic standpoint and being steady.
2 points of interest. Imagine Derek Walker versus most of the bigs. They start both under Nebraska's under the opposing team's basket in a full sprint. Who's going to win that sprint to the
Derek
to the
Walker.
front? Derek Walker. That should be.
He's good. I like him. He's
good.
good.
That should be how. That's how you stress bigs and a defense.
I agree.
Is to send my big, who's more athletic, to the front of the rim simply on a hard crash. Whatever happens from then, everybody else has to help, and it caves in the defense. The other thing is this, Sip, if you're going to take on Jay Foreman in basketball, it doesn't behoove you as an undersized guy to sit here and bang with him down in the paint. Doesn't make sense.
Pick me up early.
How are you going to get to Jay? You're going to make Jay come on out in the deep water. All right, young dude, I'll quick you.
Yeah, you're right.
I can run in different directions. I can move you around.
Yeah.
If you think from the idea that I need to get in the short cage with Jay Foreman,
Oh yeah, I'll wear you out.
I'm begging to get beat. So
Simple,
stop.
I'll wear you out.
So
dog.
stop playing to everybody else's strength.
I would be
You
dream
just-
shaking you like no other.
But you just said that everybody in the Big Ten has that big, right? So why
Or
would you?
bigs.
All right. So why would you get into a slugfest with bigs, man, with power punchers?
Simple.
Stop doing it,
I
man.
know, I know.
You gotta outquick
Here's
them.
the
I
example.
hear you.
Here's
I
the-
hear you.
Simple. Here's the example that he's actually trying to get you to remember. If you watch Kofi Cockburn against Derek Walker, he was dead tired.
Yeah, he was.
Halfway through the second half.
Colburn was.
Yes, because we were getting up and down the court, and we actually were playing pretty efficient offensively. Now, where we broke down was defensively, where we let Frazier and this also I'm gonna say Frazier looked like he been in the weight room.
Yes,
that's just out there now.
Yes.
Okay. Both of their guards look like they've been on the bench press, and like you got your little deltoids. They've been doing it right. They've been through the P90X.
Yeah.
But that's where the game changed. At the end of the game, we broke down defensively up top. But Derek Walker, lat man, ran Kofi Cockburn. He was so tired because he was a big guy, but you get him up and down the court, it's gonna obviously work against him. Because defensively we had breakdowns, and that's remember we talked about the
and it was
easy
third option that broke them down. They fatigued Kofi and everybody else defensively from Nebraska. Initially, they were participating.
Yes.
Then they began to spectate. They began to watch.
Is that what happened?
And then that second
and
or
the
third
easy
pass,
entry pass was killing us.
right? But Kofi didn't want to do work, so he would kick it out. Everybody would run to the first pass. The second and third pass
Bang.
was where it was open.
Again,
and they
second half against Michigan.
So
up
yeah,
there.
that's what I was just gonna
Okay.
bring up is Hunter Dickinson. There was
But it's
no
the sec-
answer.
Hold
There was
on.
no
The
answer.
first half there was an answer. The second half
got foul trouble. That was his answer.
But why was he in foul trouble?
Well, I
Okay,
can't remember exact particulars, but
we're
he was
getting
in
up
foul
and down the court. We're taking advantage. But when you're not participating on defense with defensive pressure, the entry passes are easier,
Yep.
and he's catching it
Oh,
where
he was
wants.
catching her. Yeah, he's catching it where whenever he-
in the
yeah.
second half against Illinois.
It's a defense issue.
Right.
It's
It's,
a
a
defense
defense issue.
It really is. I can make a decision. Wes Unseld used to talk about how he defended,
great Wes
like how
Unseld.
he defended, and he said,
You like Wes Unseld? Yeah.
Well, I love those
Well,
bullet teams.
Right. Well, what he said was,
Elvin Hayes, Bobby Dandridge,
Yeah.
Wes Unseld.
right. He said, what I want is I'm not going to allow
I hit
Jay
you, son.
Foreman to catch where Jay Foreman wants to catch.
Right.
Now, if I take that away, if I front Jay Foreman, I'm going to make Jay and the ball handler make a decision. Okay, how am I getting him the ball differently than I have previously? Do I have to bounce fast? As he thinks about it, he slows down the offense and everybody adjusts. you just can't let Jay continually catch where he wants to catch, because
especially if you're undersized,
right? Because he's going to do what he wants to do.
Especially if you're undersized. Especially if you're undersized. DP, now that's where I get back to. I will not back down on it. You got to recruit bigger bigs and put a more emphasis on.
So
it.
easy to do.
You got to recruit
Gotta do
bigs,
it.
but you also got to have bigs that are actually going to do the things you need to do.
Okay,
I know.
all right.
Listen here, because
that's where I'm coming from.
You like Lat Man, but
I'm
Lat
gonna
Man
ask you
needs
the
to work.
question.
He needs box out drills.
I'm going to ask you a question.
Because I need to go to. I'll go into practice in there, and the services are here. I'm 255, 258. I can promise you, these elbows, okay, you're going to box out because I'm coming down hard.
In the last 40 years of Nebraska basketball, how many great bigs have they recruited here?
Oh, now hold on,
Hold
DP.
on now.
Hold on, DP.
No,
Yeah.
They got some
there's
dudes.
been some dudes
There's
now.
been some dudes.
This is purposeful. 40 years. 40 years.
Well,
Years.
Dave
A lot of
Hoppin.
years.
Dave Hoppin.
Hamilton.
Vincent.
Vincent was good. Marge.
Bernard Gardner was a big. Mikey Moore.
Mikey Moore.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Amani Friend.
Yeah.
No, he was not a great.
What about the
You
dude
wouldn't say that
Strickland
much.
talked about last night?
There's four.
DP's
There's
gonna
like
make
four. He's got
Hatcher,
there's
Latcher.
four guys.
Hold on,
in
isn't
40
there one?
years.
Isn't there Chuck Juro?
Oh, hey, your boy Rich King.
Rich King.
The 7'2" Rich King.
14th pick overall. 14th
Yeah.
pick overall.
So he got
And
five. or six.
he had a paper thin vertical though.
Yeah,
Yeah, 5 or 6 in
He was
40 years.
he was
5 and 40 years.
he was drafted in the
5 and
first
40
round.
years. 5 and 40 years. I'm just
You're talking about dominant.
If
though.
the number,
There's more.
yeah,
than-
but we just mentioned around the Big Ten currently that there are teams that have two bigs
He's making a
that are
point.
in that
Yeah.
space.
Yeah.
He's making a point.
Nebraska's never been good at bringing in big guys.
Not
to big-
never.
But hold on. But I'll
5
ask you.
and
But I'll
40
ask you.
years.
I'll ask you this.
5 and 40 years.
I'm going to ask you this though.
Even if it's
Hold on.
10
Very
and
many.
40
Not
even
very
if
many.
it's 10
We got
and
30
40
seconds. We
Okay,
got to
30 seconds.
30 seconds. We got to roll.
That's a good point.
Good
You
day.
don't
Hold
make
on.
a bad point there.
Okay, you might have you don't have Patrick Ewing and Matumbo on the roster, but I
Morning, Othello,
okay,
Harris, like
okay,
we
but
can
I
do,
can tell
we
you
can
this.
do that.
I can tell you this: these guys can play a lot better. I know one can particularly box out more. I know one could be a little bit more physical.
I'm not talking about the quality of the guys over there. I'm
I'm
talking,
talking about
the
guys here.
quantity and
History.
quality of guys that are there. We talk about how easy you want it to be. It ain't that easy.
Okay.
All right. Old
It is
school.
not that easy.
Good
Old school
conversation.
is next for Steve Sitplum. Jake Horton. See ya.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.